go live. All right, I think we are live for both TikTok and YouTube. I'm gonna wait for you guys to tell me if you guys can see my screen, if you guys can hear me okay. So either chat, you guys can start letting me know. I'm setting up. This is why we're early. So this is why we're early. Let's see here. 1 second, everybody. I'm gonna try to set everything up live here. All right, let's see here. 1 second, everybody. Mute this one real quick. All right, let's see. Picture in picture, full screen. Okay, no theater mode. All right, everybody, I'm setting up. Thank you for being early. The show should get started here shortly. I can hear you. I can see you. Okay, YouTube so far is good on YouTube. That's good news. So let me just make sure that I have something for at least the people that are over on TikTok. TikTok, you guys are not gonna have like the best view. I couldn't rig it in time to to be able to like give you guys a real good show, but you guys can also find it over on YouTube. So if you guys are watching on YouTube, I think that's gonna be a lot better. I see there's like 148 of you guys watching over on TikTok. So either way, I appreciate you guys being there. Let's see here. So everybody else watching on YouTube, just bear with me here. Again, that's why we're early. I want to make sure that we have everything set up as much as we can. And in a minute, I'm gonna jump into stuff. You guys can start asking me whatever you guys want. When the live is on, by the way, I mean I'll obviously try to shut up as much as I can, but the whole point is to react together, right? To boo when we want to boo, and to just say whatever the hell we want to say. I haven't figured out how to bring people in. Maybe I can bring them in through TikTok if you guys want to, for some reason, have an opinion or share about something. So I can do that as well. But other than that, I'm going to just, give you guys my reaction to that. All right, so see here, send links to the host. Thank you. Okay, I can see the whatchamacallit, the chat over for TikTok now. It's kind of weird. I'm working here with as many screens as I can. You guys on TikTok, can you guys hear me? What's my handle? My handle is JTH Show. People are asking me over on TikTok. Can somebody over on TikTok tell me if you guys can hear me? If you can hear me. Somebody over on TikTok. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? Let's see here. Yes. Okay, you guys can hear me. Cool. So that's the stream that I have for TikTok, y'all. I'm sorry if it's not like exactly what you guys wanted. I can put it maybe a little bit closer. Again, you guys can watch this over on YouTube. The YouTube channel is JTH Show. So you guys can find me there. Predictions, how long before it falls apart? How long before the stream falls apart? I don't know. I mean, if you're talking about the stream, I mean, how long until somebody reports me, right? That's the question. For whatever reason, if they decide to start trolling or whatnot, who knows? Who knows how long until things fall apart? Okay, I can see things on my end for YouTube. That's fantastic. I gotta get myself a third monitor if I'm gonna make this a regular thing. Okay, so let's go over to his TikTok. There it is. He should be coming on. I'm assuming any second now. When it does come on, or any minute now rather, I'm gonna be able to send it full screen. Okay, and then and then we'll be able to see their comments and stuff like that as well. Again, for those of you guys watching over on YouTube, so on this side here, well, the other way around. On this side, whatever, we'll have all the comments and videos and all that good stuff. So we'll be able to react real time. I'm gonna try to read comments. So my monitors are on this side. I'm gonna try to read comments here as much as I can for everybody. So thanks for everybody for being here. I've always said I don't need thousands of viewers. There's looks like what is there, like 58 of you guys in here for YouTube and 100 and something over on TikTok. Thank you for each one of you guys being here. I appreciate you guys. It's very nice of you guys. On my way to YouTube. Yeah. People are saying on my way to YouTube from TikTok. I think it's definitely better to be over here. Real question is what we have piano music in the background. I don't know. You know, I gotta say, I'm over here thinking like he has to have like a setup, right? There's a reason why I said what I said on the video that I did yesterday. You know, if he comes on just like plain and simple, you let me know. But I'm gonna feel like he totally watched my video and he's like, I'm gonna do the opposite of what this asshole, meaning me, just predicted I'm gonna do. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? But yes, pianos, violin, you know, that's what I'm picturing. You know, I even want to go as far as saying this. You ready? I'm predicting he might start crying at one point. I know. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? It you know, it could happen. It could happen. That's all I'm gonna say. But I'm gonna test a video real quick, one of his videos, just to see if we have audio. Let me know if you guys can hear him as well. Okay?
Yacht and Najoniful people. Tonight,
yes,
there is a supermoon.
Yes, can you hear him?
This is going to be
this is the audio you're gonna get for the stream.
Brightest moon we will see all year. The moon is orbiting Earth at approximately 222,000 miles away.
Let's see here.
And some indigenous folks call this moon the buck moon.
Waiting for the soft glow. Yeah. Can you guys hear him? Can you guys hear him?
Fully grown at this point.
No. Some people are saying you guys cannot hear him.
Names for as well. For example, the Tlingit call it the salmon moon because the salmon have returned.
Let's see here. People on YouTube, can you guys hear? Okay, cool.
The Anishinaabe folks call it the berry moon because it's the
Let's see here. I can hear it. Cool.
The Algonquins call
okay, so people on TikTok for some reason can hear,
you see,
but the people over on YouTube can hear. Damn, that sucks.
The moon.
Again, folks, go over to my YouTube channel, JTH Show.
To ensure that
JTH Show. You guys should be able to find the link on my bio. Because people on YouTube are saying they can hear.
So
people are saying YouTube they can hear, but the people over on TikTok for some reason you guys can't hear. I'm gonna pause him. Sometimes he makes my ears bleed. All right. Botox tears. I'm dead. Rip. Botox tear. God, you guys are vicious sometimes. Okay, let's see here. So, subele. I know. You guys, if you're on TikTok and you can hear this, honestly, head over to the YouTube channel. It's a JTH Show. So again, you can find me JTH Show over on YouTube. It's gonna be a much better experience. Trust me. So yeah, if you guys can head over to YouTube. I think it'll be a lot better. But okay. All right. So the guys over on YouTube said that you guys can hear. Unfortunately, the people on TikTok, for some reason or another, you guys cannot hear, which kind of sucks. But yeah, come over to YouTube, folks. If you're on TikTok, come over to YouTube. So yeah, come over to YouTube. So I'm gonna keep saying that a couple more times. Is he live right now? He's not live yet. No. I think he was gonna go exactly at 5, I think. Well, 5 my time. So yeah, sounds sounds far away. Okay, cool. So listen, it's not on yet. We're gonna play. You know, I don't know. We're gonna wait for a little bit. It's 5 more minutes. So why don't I start answering some questions from the chat real quick? Let's see here. I'm gonna flip real quick. I'm gonna cut to myself. All right. So this is just me for now while we're waiting for the stream to start. So it's just for now. Don't worry. I'm gonna put it back to full screen. Let's see here. I'm gonna answer some questions here from TikTok. Thank you. I appreciate you. Here from TikTok. Thank you. Just came from TikTok. It's so much better. Yes, it is so much better. Thank you. So everybody, thank you for the kind comments. TikTok has an age restriction. What? That sucks. I mean, then again, it kind of makes sense, right? That it has an age restriction. I mean, it's kind of weird. But yeah, I mean, maybe they know why. But yeah. So everybody that has been, by the way, watching and liking the video and stuff like that, thank you. I really appreciate it. I want to make sure we start off the stream by saying that, I want to say my thank yous. I feel like it's always something I should do. Let's see here. We're at 4:54. What other questions you guys have before we get on here? Hear from that chat. Let's see here. Just came over from TT. So weird when I see that. Came over from TikTok. Cool. Yeah, so much better. I think this stream is so much better. So for you guys that are over on TikTok, again, I recommend you guys come over to watch on YouTube. So again, JTH Show, the JTH Show. I mean, it'll bring you over to me either way. You're 30 and it wouldn't let you watch because of age restriction. That's so weird. Yeah, that's so weird. That's so weird. So listen, before we jump into it, I'm monitoring on my end, and here, just so you guys, it's not just my ugly face. I'm gonna switch over to that view. I think it's a little better. So here are some stuff that I want you guys to look out for. Okay. Um, Number one thing, is, again, the setting, right? Like I said, the angles, the lighting. He is almost addicted to making sure. I can tell. All right. I don't like to toot my own horn, but I can tell, right? He gets all in his like, oh, what setting? I mean, here I put that light behind me for a reason, because I think it brings me, a better setup. It's not too dark. I have a light here. I have a light here over me. I mean, when you create content, you just know, right? The stuff that you need to do to present something. So I think he worries as much as anyone else. So am I indigenous? So a part of me is from my dad's side, but not to follow the stereotype of like a drunk Indian, but I don't know the guy. He kind of walked out, so I don't know a lot of them. Let's see here. Can't wait. I'm excited. Plot twist. He starts watching your stream. Rip. No, I don't think he'll ever acknowledge me. I don't need him to acknowledge, but I don't think he'll ever acknowledge me, simply because, the guy likes to argue with people that he feels he has an easy dub on, right? Like he can win easy on. That's why he allegedly fights all the time with so-called colonizers, as he said, right? Because to him, it's easy for him to be able to dunk on people like that. It's easy, right? He won't argue with anyone else that he feels he might lose on, right? He might lose the argument with. So no, I don't think he'll ever fight with me, or not fight with me, but debate with me and stuff like that. Let's see here. So anyways, yeah. Let's see here. Are you going to ask him questions on the live? Well, that's the thing. I don't want to make sure nobody is confused. He's not joining my live. I mean, I would totally ask him questions, but he's not going to answer me. Did anyone make him a bingo card? I don't think so, not yet. I think he's about to start here in a second. Thank you. Wanting to support an indigenous creator. Thank you. Yeah. So he only argues with those who are weak. I agree. He does. I mean, you can tell who he answers back to. By the way, call me crazy. All right. But I think that's why he argues with like kids. I've done numerous videos, right, on him engaging with debating on with kids like that. No disrespect, right, to that dude or whatever his handle in. I'm sorry if I forget his handle name, but that's why he argues with him, right? He argues, in multiple occasions with kids because they're easy dubs. Come on. Isn't his dad white? I don't know. Actually, I don't know. I mean, I know he was married because I dig into that myself, but I don't know if I don't know if his dad is white. Is going to be on to. I think his girlfriend will be on, his new girlfriend or one of his girlfriends. Because hey, I'm not trying to punch anyone here, but he's the one that publicly, or it's a known fact that he likes to be in like polygamous relationships, right? So I don't know if this. When I say one of his girlfriends, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but it is what it is. So you make so many good points on your series. Thank you. I try to bring facts for you guys all the time. Let's see here. All right. So it looks like any minute he's gonna start. I doubt he ever see this, right? But Lance, if you ever want to come on the show, Lance, all right, I'll say this before I forget. I mean, it doesn't need to be a debate, right? I'm okay if you just want to be interviewed or whatever. He knows, right, that you like the attention. So it's for all the followers that might be on here, for Lance, like he likes it. Trust me, the man likes. He's a narcissist. He likes the attention. So no matter what he says about like, oh, you guys need to talk about me because their views are low. No, dude, come on. You like the attention. So everybody knows that. Watch him not go live. Yeah, Elizabeth Williams. Good point. I thought about that too. Like, he's just messing with everybody and he won't go live. It could be, I think at this point, it would be hard to say that he hasn't seen videos like me or of other people. Like there's another creator, Patrick, that he was going to also go live and stuff like that. I think he decided not to, but it would be hard to say that he's not, watching out for creators like me that are doing content on him. I mean, it's ridiculous. Come on. He's also not like a mega celebrity, right? I mean, he maybe feels like a mega celebrity on TikTok, but he's not, you know what I mean? Like, so I know he probably gets a lot of messages, but he definitely knows of those creators like me that rise to the top because of the content that is continuously pushed on him. I mean, I don't know how many times people tag him on my videos. He's live now? Okay, he's live now. All right. Give me a second. I'm going to refresh my page. All right, let's go.
be sure to have your camera on when you jump in, and we will give you 5 minutes to talk. And once that 5 minutes is up, you'll hear a little chime, and we'll kindly ask you to share the mic.
We are giving exceptions to that 5 minutes to those who work in the field of DEI and critical race theory, and those who have committed their platforms to talking about this issue, both in the positive and supportive sense and in the critical sense of not agreeing with us. So those people will be given 10 minutes. And everyone else will be given 5. It's not a matter of silencing people's voices. We just won't be able to hear everyone if we let people speak, as long as they would like. Apologies ahead of time for our dogs.
Hey, guys, calm down.
They're babies.
No.
All right, so at 2:4 and 6 o'clock on the dot, I think let's start. So again, some of these things that we say will keep getting reiterated over and over. But the reason why we're doing this live is because of the harm that was caused by the nuance in our video, as well as some subsequent reactionary comments and arguments that we allowed ourselves to
get involved in. Yeah. Very quickly, for everyone, I have been advised by my legal counsel to not bring up the situation that happened earlier this year. So, heads up, I'm not going to be talking about that. And if you are going to come in and just want to talk about that, we're going to ask you to leave this live. And
he's talking about the womb lens.
So, first and foremost, we humbly apologize. We should have said more with that video. We should have said what we meant. We should have said who we were talking to, because we didn't expect that so many people would feel that they were targeted in the statement that we made.
Yeah. I really want to apologize to Twitchy, who I pointed out in terms of case in point in the comment section. I was just reacting out of just frustration, and from my understanding, they identify as white presenting, and ultimately, that was just a really terrible thing for me to do. In addition to that, after everything started blowing into a wildfire, I learned that there was someone who is a minor who was commenting on my post. That individual, I'm really sorry about the fallout of that post in terms of your identity. Hey guys, stop. Sorry. I hope you found love and peace with your family to better understand these intricate realities and intersectional realities. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I also really want to apologize to for losing my cool on the live that Nuggets hosted last week. I just buckled under all this weight, and I acted out of character, and I conducted myself in a way that was detrimental to my character and my integrity. So I'm very sorry for that. It's been a really tough couple of rough week. So yeah,
it's been a rough year.
Yeah, rough year.
I want to apologize to the First Nations of Australia. I also acted out of character by inserting myself into a dialogue that I wasn't familiar with the nuance. There's a lot of ways that I want to improve my American exceptionalism and my U.S.-centric mindset in terms of everything, but particularly when it comes to race. your racial dynamics, combination of complete and total ignorance on my part, as well as a carelessness and pride and ego. There's a point where you can either back out of an argument or you can just keep doubling down. And someone said, "Aren't you ashamed of yourself?" And I said, "No, I'm not. And in hindsight, I absolutely am. I'm sorry, sincerely for that." And I think that of all the silver linings, of like so many silver linings that have come out of this, there are a lot of dialogues happening between our communities, and we're learning more about each other. And I think that we could learn to emulate some of the progress that you've made with reconciling the past and accepting the descendants of harsh realities like genocide into your communities. I'm going to separate these dogs. Come here, Sam.
Hey, I'm just saying the dogs act like their owners. That's all I'm going to say.
Apologies.
Just saying.
And I'm sorry for that. It rustled up trauma that is so similar to ours, and I'll be much more considerate of that in the future.
Definitely. There's definitely a lot I need to learn in terms of how racial dynamics happen in Australia as well as New Zealand. It was very, very hard for me to accept that, and in that live particularly, I didn't want to be made a fool, but then made myself look like a freaking idiot by just
Well, he's not wrong there.
being ignorant and an asshole.
So now here's the hard part. Here's the hard truth. We're not sorry for what we said.
Oh, yeah? There it is.
We're
There it
sorry
is.
for leaving such an empty space to be filled, and a lot of nuance was not added to the post that we made. We didn't clarify what exactly we were talking about,
Why we were even bringing it up.
Bullshit.
why
They
we were
knew.
bringing it up, who we were addressing, and with that lack of nuance and lack of clear, concise educational content, a lot of folks started throwing in their own theories in terms of what we were talking about and who we were talking to. And so I hope that with each individual who joins the live and brings up good points to address with us, we can provide some clarity in terms of what we said and what we meant and who we were talking to.
Yeah, to be honest, I took for granted how people would receive me saying, "if you identify as." And I found that people who do not identify as white passing, or do not identify as white presenting, or have no awareness of the fact that they're white presenting, light-skinned people, mixed people, like those biracial people, felt that was that we were targeting them. We absolutely were not. We were not gatekeeping your blackness or your indigeneity. We don't have the ability to do that.
Bullshit.
We cannot do that, and neither of us believe that race is something that's intrinsic, that's part of you. It's not a part of who you are. It's how you present yourself in social settings.
I also want to add on,
Backpedaling.
the key word is
Backpedaling.
identify. And I think a lot of folks heard "if you are," and they didn't think about what identify means. With that being said, if you did feel targeted as an Indigenous individual, I didn't say you are not Indigenous. I didn't say you are not Native. And it's really unfortunate that those words were put in my mouth, and a lot of folks started bringing up blood quantum, and it was really discouraging because a lot of folks who were bringing this up seemed to not understand the differences between race, ethnicity, nationality, intersectionality, anything along those lines. And if I were, upholding blood quantum, why would I be in an interracial relationship? And someone who upholds blood quantum, pushes for, natives to only be with other natives and to prioritize tribal affiliation above everything else, and that's not something I advocate for.
And thank you for those who've requested to join the live and are giving us some space to explain ourselves. I want to point out that I myself am a person who has my identity in question. So similarly to the logic behind accusing Lance of supporting blood quantum, why would I, looking the way that I do, try to tell someone that they're not enough for anything, that you're not black enough, or that you're not indigenous enough? I've been hearing that my entire life, and I feel blessed that I was instilled with a strong sense of self, and that didn't come through somebody else telling me who I am. That came through my family and my community, helping me love myself despite all the odds and all of the things that are trying to get me to hate myself and lean into my proximity to whiteness. So we were not targeting light-skinned people, we were not targeting mixed people at all. And again, we do not only were we not gatekeeping your heritage or your ancestry, nobody can do that. Absolutely no one, and certainly not two people on TikTok.
You were trying.
Exactly.
You were trying.
I also want to address a huge issue that arose from this entire situation. I've seen a lot of anti-blackness coming from the Native community, and a lot of folks co-opting language that was developed by critical race theorists in the 1960s. So black academics created this language, and we've been seeing a lot of folks co-opt it, so stealing it and trying to legitimize their position as white individuals. And so I've seen nothing but
there it
colored
is.
People coming up and starting their posts with "as an indigenous person" and saying the most racist shit. And so, like,
and that does, to me, that doesn't give you a pass. When I call you out for your microaggressions, when I call you out for your anti-blackness or your blatant racism, instead of seeing that for what it is, hiding behind a marginalized identity that you have access to, which is quite literally pulling the race card. So understand that colorism, white passing, intersectionality, womanism, these are all words that came out of the black community. So before you come in and try to correct someone who is not part of the black community, you not being a part of the black community, about what it means to be white passing, pause and ask yourself where you got this vernacular in the first place.
Well,
So
where did you get it?
We don't want to suck up too much air. We're going to let
where did you get
some folks in. So again, our ground rules, yes, the comments are off. We do not find the comments to be productive in any live at all, but particularly for this conversation. You can't listen to people and type at the same time. Those joining the live, please have your cameras on. Unfortunately, we will let you out of the live if you aren't showing yourself. Those are the people who will come on. I'll let you know if it's a 5-minute or a 10-minute. It's not to be silencing anyone. There's people who have devoted their entire platforms to this subject. There's people whose careers revolve around this, and we want to give more time to those people. So
every so often I lower the volume real quick to say something. So of course the comments are off. They want to be in their echo chamber.
We'll go ahead
of course
and
the comments
give,
are off.
Lex 10 minutes.
Hey guys, real quick. So I'm Lex Scott. I'm the founder of Black Lives Matter Utah. I'm the founder of the Utah Black History Museum. I'm the founder of the United Front Civil Rights Organization. The conversation of white passing is different in the Black community than it is in the Native community. When they said, if you identify as white passing, you are white, I immediately related to that, because if you have white privilege, you are not denied housing and jobs because of the color of your skin. You are not denied housing.
So I don't know who this creator is, right? But
you know,
she's saying she's like the founder of like Black Lives Matter Utah or something. Okay,
because of the color of your skin.
She's there just
society sees you as white,
to support them. This is not opposition.
Now,
what is this?
Nuanced conversations have popped up about this, but I have seen people putting a lot of words into their mouths. I've seen people saying, remember when Modern Warrior was addressing biracial people and light-skinned people? I am biracial. I have a white passing son, and I heard the statement that Modern Warrior said. And what he said was, if you identify as white passing. He never said if you identify as biracial, if you identify as light skinned. It is not my place to speak on behalf of Indigenous people, but I will say that the term white passing came from the Black community. And I suggest that a lot of people.
All right, real quick. So I keep hearing this narrative. Oh, the white passing came from the Black community. I'm not saying that it did or it didn't. It could have very well came from the Black community. But these two didn't know how they were using it, right? Because now they're walking back on it. They know how they used it. But here we have somebody, right, coming in here and just basically vouching for them. This is ridiculous, dude. I can almost guarantee that they almost picked all of the people that they're gonna invite.
And you want to see him fall. You have wanted to see him fall from the beginning, and you are just jumping in and bashing Black and brown creators. It is never the place of a white person to pit Black and brown people against each other. It is never the place of a white person to hop into Black and brown beefs. You are literally the oppressor. You benefit from the oppression that happens to Black and brown people. You benefit from our marginalization while we continue to suffer from it. And inserting your opinion helps nothing. It really doesn't. While you are out here and your people are out here denying us jobs and housing, and your police forces are profiling and murdering us, you hopping on my posts and other Black and brown people's posts and saying things to the extent of,
who is she talking about?
Lance, you don't like Miss
Who's she talking about?
It is not your place. It's none of your business. Stay in your lane. Really. Because unless you have experienced systemic racism, it is not your place to jump in and insert your white opinion. Do you understand? Okay? You do not get to pit us against each other. You do not get to bash Black and brown people. You do not get an opinion on this subject. Your only job is to dismantle white supremacy. The systems that your people put into place that continue to marginalize and oppress.
Why is she angry at white people? Like,
now, Lance,
if this is happening, it's because of them too. Why is she all pissed off at white people? Like, what?
Dragged a million times in my life, and I will be dragged a million times more. And the only way that we ever recover from this is to shut people up with our work. You have massive platforms. You can recover from this. And every time I've been bashed, I'm like, I'm just going to help more people. I'm just going to circulate more GoFundMes. I'm going to create museums. I'm going to hold a summer camp for Black children. Just keep your heads up and understand that we all fall. We all fall. We all make mistakes, and we are not perfect. Everyone expects us to be perfect, but no one is.
I don't want to be mean, but next. I'm sorry.
We hurt people sometimes.
Okay, we get it. You're cheerleading for Lance. Cool.
I understood what your post meant. It meant that white privilege is real, and that if you are walking around society and you have this privilege to not be profiled and murdered by police, to not be denied housing and jobs, if you have this privilege, please acknowledge your privilege.
Real quick, if you're listening over on TikTok, come over to YouTube. It's a lot better experience.
So thank you for giving me some time. Be brave. It's going to be a rough live. But
it's not going to be a rough live with people like you.
Put in some work. Just put in some work out there. I never wish the downfall of Black and brown people. So I always hope they recover and do good work.
Real quick, they're doing exactly the politician thing, right? They're bringing out all these people with hard-hitting questions that are not hard-hitting. Like, what?
Okay. Any response or feedback? I think my what stuck with me, what really came to me with that statement, or with Lex's feedback is COINTELPRO. Not only are there people who are just lacking intelligence and lacking logical reason, attacking both of us and wanting our downfall, there's always been a systematic effort to separate marginalized communities from each other, to keep them from working with one another.
What era do you live in? What are you talking about?
Programs were targeting the Black Panthers, the American Indian Movement, the Young Lords, and the Democratic Socialists of America. And you can see, even through TikTok, how these kinds of systems play out. So please resist the temptation to play into people's hands. When you see someone who is saying things like grandiose accusations about criminality and narcissism, just stop for a moment and say, am I playing into the hands of those who wish to keep us separated?
Exactly. These are all militaristic tactics to create dysfunction.
Keeping who separated, Lance?
Literally divide and conquer.
Divide and conquer of what?
Before, if your hate for me is just too overwhelming that you just support any person who says ridiculous things about me, then that's on you. But to folks who are genuinely,
how about people that bring facts
to do better and to be better, really listen and understand what is actually happening.
Right. So,
guys, over on TikTok, come over to YouTube, JTH Show. It's a lot better experience.
Again, we kindly request that you have your camera on. To reiterate to those who've just joined the live, the comments.
It's funny that they're asking for the cameras to be on. Numerous lives that Lance joins to attack, his camera is always off. Have you guys noticed that? And he's always ranting. Check it out.
Say your piece. If anyone needs instruction on how to turn your camera on, we'd be happy to tell you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me turn it on.
Thanks.
How's it going, Lance? I don't know if she's your girlfriend or just friend. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you, but we can't see you.
Yeah, we can't see you.
Oh, can you guys see me now?
No.
We cannot. How about you out, and then when we let you back in, there's an option that's saying that you're...
Real quick, everybody on TikTok, you guys can come over to YouTube. It's JTH Show, link in my bio, or just go to YouTube and put JTH Show or the JTH Show.
Okay. Lance, how's it going? I'm sorry, I don't really know your name. When I came on TikTok about 5 months ago, I think I created some content regarding Lance. I was supporting what he was talking about. There was a Mexican, I think what you would call white passing indigenous woman named Lizzie Huerta, and she attacked Lance. And I can feel that Lance has a positive message for a community of people, a generation of people that needs to continue and be carried on for a long time.
What?
I've told people in my lives that Lance is in a progress of growth and healing, as we all are. We all have our issues. We all have our anxieties. We all have our battles to fight. But I think it's really important to people to understand that that any indigenous person, any Black, regardless of your background, your belief, whatever it is, if you are of positive conversation, if you are of, a person who's trying to stand and fight real cases, real causes, throughout the hemisphere and the world, I support that. So Lance, there's a lot of people that turned against me one time when they said, what's your opinion about Lance? This was months ago, or Modern Warrior. And I said, you know what? Modern Warrior has his voice and he's using it. He's speaking out. He's putting content out. If you don't like it, if you feel he's violating whatever reason, you have the choice to block him, ignore him, or report it. But respect his voice. And I'd say that to anybody. If you're indigenous, no matter who you are, I guess at this point, share your voice, use this content.
So we should respect his voice while he tries to silence other people's voice. Got it.
In a positive way, and share your voice. Don't go out destroying somebody. I've been a victim of that here on this platform. I am Mexica, Anahuaca, and Purepecha. And there's a long story to my story, to where I come from, came to be, and where I'm at today. But I just want to hop on here and say that, Lance, I support you 100%. I think you guys don't need to apologize to I think anybody that's been following you and can see what you've been doing throughout your time here on TikTok and maybe other platforms.
More echo chamber. More echo chamber.
I've also been people have said negative things about you regarding indigenous people south of the U.S. border, but I know based on the way you think and your character, I know that you don't think negative about us. You know, so I stand with both of you, and I really hope you guys continue to speak your voice, share your content. And again, not everybody's going to agree with what you have to say, but that's on them. You know,
Real quick, this is why I wanted to do our own stream, right? To talk about,
just be you,
like, you guys want to express yourself right now in the chat, right? Not this crap where he's like turning off comments, only allowing people in his echo chamber. This is why. This is why. This is the way to watch his streams.
So if you wanted to get another 2 minutes in, any other thoughts that you want to share? I want to give you as much time as you want.
You know what? There's so much to talk about, but to go in depth into conversation, I think that deserves more than 3 minutes at a different time, maybe in person, maybe just somewhere else. But here on this platform, I just wanted to come out here and let people know that as a Native American south of the U.S. border that lives and was born in the United States, but also lived in Mexico for a while, I just want to say I support what you guys are doing. I definitely feel that there's, like I said, we're all learning every day. We create.
It's so sad if this guy is anything, you know, like he's saying, you know, he's Mexican or whatever. It's so sad because Lance believes that Mexicans are not natives. So God, talk about being a bootlicker. Come on, right?
On my tribe,
come on.
The Mexica and Awaka, and we have an infusion of Purepecha because my tribe is one of the people. The Mexicas and the Purepecha, the Aztecs and the Purepecha have been in constant battle. They were always in battles. They were at the biggest battles in the history of this hemisphere, the Purepechas and the Aztecs. We were the two biggest rivals. And the reason the colonizer even took over or destroyed Mexico City and kept moving forward was because we never went to their aid, or the Purepecha never went to their aid. So we're kind of stuck in that process where we're in infusion now, my people. There's like 13.
All right, real quick. I'm sorry, this guy's boring. He's just like blam, blam, blam. Notice how Lan, someone else said it in the chat too. He's just in the background, literally in the background. Like, I'm not trying to, you know, I'm not being hyperbolic. He's in the background. Why? Because his lawyer probably told him like, hey, every time you open your mouth, you kind of make it harder for me, you know, to defend you. So just stay in the background. Yeah, do you see it?
Africa and so many other places there. The colonizer's always been of a European background, you know, or European in a sense. So, and also religious. You guys know what's been going on with the Pope, what he, you know, that was so disrespectful in my eyes. The Inquisitions, genocide, forced assimilations, the boarding schools, all of that.
Hey, Laura Alexander, yeah, I know Mexico does have a huge, you know, concentration of natives. In fact, if you're Mexican, in my viewpoint, you are native. I mean, natives like Lance, when it's convenient, they say that the U.S. borders define if you're a native, right? When it's convenient. But when it's not, right, it's BS, right? If you're Latino and you have ancestry here from Turtle Island, and Turtle Island is not the U.S., you're native, period.
Misleading information, and I stand with you on this 100%. I went on a live and I heard people talking, let's go and attack them, let's go. They want to raid your live and do all kinds of stuff to you, man. And it's sad because they were also Native Americans of the United States and Canada, and it sucks, but that is the reality that we have to face as indigenous people, you know. Sometimes it's our own people that hurt us the most, you know, but we got to move forward, you know, and continue to be us. Thank you guys. Much love to both of you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
They were bored. They were bored themselves. They were totally bored. Look at them. They got nothing to say.
Right. Let's just go back. I'll look for, okay, so gonna let in Darren, and Darren also has a platform that's committed to this subject, so I am going to give him 10 minutes.
Yeah, this is all. It's just more echo chamber they're bringing in, right? More voices.
Hi.
More voices to tell them that they're fine.
To turn on my camera. Okay.
All right, so I've got a little timer going.
Okay, now I won't need too much time. Yeah, so we had a bit of a conversation offline, and so obviously the opportunity was taken by.
Did you hear that? He said, "Yeah, we had a conversation offline."
Cause more division, which we knew.
Did you hear that?
Happen. But what I do also think is that it pointed out a conversation that needs to be had.
Turn it up.
And
cool. I'll turn it up.
That racism is not a perfect science. It is a social construct, and so I know that the TikTok that was put up didn't have all the specifics in it, and in a way I'm grateful that it didn't, because of the attention that it brought up. And I think it leaves opportunity for dialogue like this, where we can have a conversation where we understand that
A conversation
if
with
you
who?
can pass as white and you take advantage of
With
that
people that agree
privilege
with you?
rather than hold yourself accountable for the privilege, then you are doing exactly what a person of 100% European descent would do. And that's something that people in communities of color need to take responsibility for. So I live in South Africa, and there are people in various shades of black here. And so I myself need to take accountability for the fact that because of how I look and how I sound, that colorism is also a very real thing. And so if we're gonna take on the fight of white supremacy, we need to be united as communities of color. And part of that is taking accountability with the varying levels of privilege that comes with that. And so it was just so crazy to see the point get taken away and it just get twisted into anything negative, like any possible way that it could have been seen in the most negative light. That was exactly the way it was taken on. And there were very, very, very few content creators who were saying, hang on a second, if you're white passing, taking advantage of your white privilege, not advocating for people who are further away from their proximity to whiteness than you are then in the oppressor dynamic. You are doing what the racial category of whiteness was created for. And it doesn't need you to have 100% European descent or European blood in you for you to do the work of a white supremacist. So if you look the part and you acting the part, do you know what I mean? There's no separation then between you and somebody who came right out of England. There's no difference, because for the communities of color, all you are doing is benefiting from a system that you hold a higher ranking in, for lack of a better term. And so that's the one thing I wanted to say. That was
Yo,
that's
listen,
a very important
this is
topic that
you're perfect, Lance. We love you, Lance. And evil white people. Evil white people. That's what this is.
And if we can't have that conversation with honesty and accountability, like, we aren't going to get where we want to be. And then the second thing I wanted to say is that there's such a high level of scrutiny for work that attempts to tear down a white supremacist system. Like, a white supremacist system makes so many mistakes.
What the fuck is this? I thought this was supposed to be like, hey, we're gonna bring on people that are gonna give us hard-hitting questions, and that, you know, we're gonna let them, you know, get out all whatever it is, you know, that they misunderstood. What the fuck is this?
If something goes wrong with a car, to check if it's going to be more feasible to reclaim all the cars or pay out the lawsuits. And that's, in a white supremacist system, a completely acceptable thing to do. But when you are trying to take down a white supremacist system, whether you're a content creator or you are,
you know what this is? This is damage control. This is 100% damage control.
Level of scrutiny, because
that's
the
all this
system
is.
wants to insulate and protect itself.
He's such a pussy.
And so what I really want
seriously,
us as
he's such a pussy.
People in communities of color to understand is that
standing all the way in the back, man.
Like, the people fighting for transformation to such a high level of scrutiny, we are literally doing the work of white supremacists for them when we don't give our own content creators, our own change agents, when we don't give them the freedom and the leeway to make mistakes, when we don't give videos like yours the benefit of the doubt. Like, hold on a second. He's been creating anti-racist content for years.
No, he's been creating racist content for years. It's the opposite.
That can be taken in a negative light. Let's give, and the reason that you're not given the benefit of the doubt is because of exactly that. A white
this is why the comments are off for his video, because he would be freaking dragged right now if the comments were on.
I get the same kind of heat as well. And I don't mind, and I take it on, but your platform is significantly bigger, and so you're going to get it on a bigger level. But I just need everybody who's watching this to kind of keep that in mind, that when you hold somebody to that high level of scrutiny, even when they are holding themselves accountable and you want to cancel somebody who is pushing for transformation, you've taken out somebody who's fighting for you. You've deplatformed somebody who's trying to undo the work of white supremacy. And you've literally
how the hell is he trying to undo the work of white supremacy?
And so we have to remember
by
that
pissing off more people that are going to go
leave space
against
for ourselves to grow
natives
as
and against marginalized communities
or anti-racist people in the industry. Like, we have to leave room for that, because we are going to make.
How is he supposed to learn and grow and blah 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 if he cannot take one on the chin? He's standing all the way in the back because he's afraid to say anything. He spoke to a lawyer. They prepped them. They're bringing in people with soft, not even soft hitting questions. There's no questions here.
As well, and not eliminate people who are trying to fight the fight of white supremacy for us.
Someone just said it made it worse, 10 times worse. Agree.
It was
like, if he thinks this is going to
really
help him,
he
just made it worse.
Your platform being one that you've built over the years and built a credible, trustworthy platform over like one video, and people getting ready to just take it away. And it's like, hold on. We've built this platform. We need this platform.
What are you talking about? Dude, ain't nobody gonna take his platform away. Like, let's be real. TikTok watches over him all the time.
Because history is not taught by the losers. History is taught by the victors, and in this case, that is the oppressor. And so, I was having this conversation with my mother today, and we were talking about somebody named Cecil John Rhodes, who Rhodesia was named over. That's now Zimbabwe. And there's a Rhodes Memorial in South Africa. And she was like, why do you not like Rhodes Memorial? And I said, because he was a staunch imperialist. If he had his way, he would have taken over
Check it out, real quick.
Africa, if not more.
The live on YouTube or on TikTok was suspended. This is exactly why I didn't do it there, or I didn't want to end up, just relying on TikTok. It's suspended for hateful behavior. What the fuck, man? What?
100%.
Because I said he's a pussy?
People accountable. But the idea that canceling or trying to deplatform a anti-racist content creator because he said something that was a bit on the chin and could have been taken in two ways is so counterproductive, and it's so against what we're trying to do, that we really need to take a look at ourselves and understand that we could be slowing down our own movement, and there's enough work cut out for us. We don't need all that. Mm-hmm. And that's all I wanted to say. And I just wanted to say thank you for opening this up for this discussion to be had. Thank you for holding yourselves accountable, as all content creators should. But we can hold people accountable without trying to deplatform them. We don't need all.
Thanks, Darren.
Thank you.
No problem.
Dude, nobody was trying to deplatform
so for those
your
that
king,
are just
okay?
Live,
nobody.
To reiterate, the comments will remain off. We don't find them to be productive in any live, but particularly one of this kind of topic. There were already people who were planning on trying to, colonize this live.
I'm recording it, by the way. I'm recording it on another computer.
Clog up the conversation with distracting nonsense. So we are going to have a few more people.
And somebody is asking if I'm recording it. I'm totally recording it. I'm going to make another more in-depth breakdown if there's anything of value, because so far there's nothing. I'll make a breakdown later.
The reason why we want this is because it's not exactly productive also to talk about race to an anonymous voice, a faceless person.
Exactly. We all know what people do. They use fake profile pictures, use ridiculous words and statements like "as a indigenous person,"
as a black man,
and they
blah,
just
blah, blah.
say the most racist.
I'm right here, bro.
So,
what are you talking about?
And
you want someone with a face? I'm right here.
Here.
What? I'm right here.
Yeah.
Stop it.
We spoke in the beginning. Those of you who are joining live again, we are sorry for the lack of nuance. We're sorry for those who were caught in the crosshairs of our comment sections. For me, particularly the First Nations of Australia, I was an asshole. There's no other way I could put it. I did not have any place to be saying the things that I was saying. It was unfounded, and the more I stayed in the comments, the worse my behavior became, and I'm sincerely sorry for that.
Yeah, I'm sorry for the individuals who also got caught up in the comments. Your indigeneity cannot be taken away by anyone, including myself. I'm sorry that the comment section just got a little out of hand, and I couldn't distinguish between supporters and folks who just really dislike me. And
Oh,
and
so
I'm
this
really
is
sorry
other
for the
people's
live
fault.
that
More
I
deflecting.
participated on, and where I buckled under pressure.
So it's not his
and
fault.
Lost my cool. That was a full display of arrogance and me just being an asshole. So
Yeah, you're an asshole.
really
That's for
sorry
sure.
for
That's for. I mean, he's right
that.
there, guys. Come on, we gotta give him.
And
You know,
if
he's
you're
right
also
there.
still joining in, we also had mentioned that we are not sorry for what we said. We are sorry for leaving so much empty space for people to fill in. This is such a difficult and important conversation that should not have been summarized in 9 seconds.
Right, but you didn't think
Okay,
about
so
that when you were
I'm
creating
going
that
to
TikTok,
go ahead
right?
and let in,
You guys were probably on your
Love
couch, like, what would really piss
Pelico.
people off? Come on.
So, Love, when you get the when you get the notification, just make sure that your
But you're supposed to be like this, like, smart man that's always like, you know, showing off how smart. Shut up, dude. Come on, bro. Come on. Come on. Be the warrior you know you say you are. Come on now.
Oh, I can't hear you. 1 second. I didn't think I was going to be on this quickly, but hi, Lance. And hi, I forget your name. I'm so sorry. I'm terrible with names. I just wanted to hop on here and just say
something valuable.
I understood what you were trying to say.
Oh my god.
But I can see. I know when I was like looking at the video, I definitely had a moment where I was like, ooh, cringe. But it wasn't because I didn't know what you were trying to say. I felt like I knew where you were coming from. But it was because I knew that y'all were going to get a lot of backlash for that.
Hey, Lance.
And I think for me, the reason it made me feel cringe is being a Chicana myself, Mexican American, born and raised here in Washington State, raised by a white bonus dad who took me in as his child at 6 months old. I personally have had moments where growing up, because he was my dad, because he is my dad, I felt that white privilege, even though I am brown. But then I also know that feeling of somebody's looking at me like I'm about to cause trouble because I'm brown. So I've felt that duality my entire life.
Another victim.
Coming from
Lance, thank you, Lance, for speaking up for me.
A situation where my mom left Mexico the way that she did, for the reasons that she did.
Dude.
As a Latina, as a Chicana, our parents believed coming to the U.S. was going to be this magical situation.
Look at Lance's face, dude. Why is he blinking so much?
Going to like improve their
like,
lives.
what is that about, dude?
Either
he's falling asleep, which is kind of what I do when I don't want to fall asleep in front of someone. I like really like, you know, or
better.
He's bored.
Not
like, what is wrong with him?
That also meant that we had to leave our identities behind in order to survive this environment that we're in, this culture that we're in. The town that I grew up in was probably about 8,000 people strong when I was growing up in it. And you were either white or you were Mexican. So someone like myself, being raised by a white father, but being fully Mexican, and now having twin brothers that are 10 years younger than me, and they're half.
I'll let you guys know at the end. Somebody's been asking about like Amanda and the interview I was going to do with her. At the end of this, I'll let you guys know. I'll let you guys know what happened.
I myself, I identify as Chicana because honestly, I never felt like I fit into any other way of putting it because I've never been Mexican enough for the Mexicans. I've never been American enough for the Americans.
Okay, I don't want to be an asshole, but no one gives a... No one cares.
Her father was like, "You got to."
Like, what are you asking him? You're here to tell your freaking your life. You're like
has been my entire life.
You know, like no one cares, man. No one cares.
In my situation,
let's
because
go.
I do know some of what it feels to have that white privilege because of my dad.
So I'm like, brown. I'm Chicana.
Very, like,
I'm totally, you know, Mexican and Latina or whatever. But I also know white privilege,
especially with like forms that you have
because
to
of my
fill out
dad.
And you have to fill out whether you're Hispanic or Latino. But then there's a separate section that asks you if you're Native American, Indigenous, if you're Alaska Native, if you're white, if you're this, if you're that. I could always check that Hispanic Latino box because that made sense to me. But that secondary set of questions, what? I don't even know how to answer that. And the other part of it too is like,
so what's your point, lady? What the F is your point?
Learning a little bit more about, you know, my cultura, my background.
What's the question for lands?
And
come on.
Nowadays where we have things like 23andMe and Somos that really breaks it down as to like where you come from. Like really understanding like being Mexicano, being Mexicana does not mean that you are just Mexican. Like,
oh my God, from one Mexican to another, cállate el hocico. Like, God, dude.
That, like,
okay, we get it. Somehow you're a victim, but it has nothing to do with this. It has nothing to do with the situation.
I'm mixed. And in some scenarios,
what the fuck, dude?
People have
seriously
treated
sorry,
me
I don't mean to drop so many like F-bombs, but what is going on?
In other scenarios, people treat me foul ways because I'm not. And so I have grown up my entire life just not really knowing exactly how to explain it other than at this stage in life as a Chicana.
Dante's like she's a fangirl. She totally is.
I have this Latino background.
That's how she started.
Have also this upbringing that I have here, but like, how can we speak in a way to, especially our younger generations,
Jesus,
that help them embrace all of it? Because on my end, I see it and I'm like, okay, well, I know how my Spanish.
This is garbage. Like this is garbage. I'm sorry, guys. This is garbage. Even I think this is garbage. Like, God, there's not even nothing to make it entertaining because it's a bunch of freaking people, you know, being in an echo chamber.
It's just.
You know,
I could see why,
and he's not saying shit because he's not allowed to say anything. He's not allowed to say anything. That's the real fact. Like, real talk. He's not allowed to say shit. He talked to a lawyer, which in a way I'm glad he did.
Trying to say.
He can't say shit. Look at him.
I also see how people like myself who have come to realize like it's not as simple as just being this or just being that. Like history happened and things happened and now here we are, and you've got a whole generation of us who have no clue how to identify because we've been told we're not enough of this and we're not enough of that. And yeah. And then as the other person,
a timer because we wanted to, there's a lot of requests coming in.
Oh God,
so
thank God.
To make sure that
thank God. Yes.
I don't
Bye.
want to interrupt that last thought that you had, but if we could just invite some
Elizabeth Steele's like, I love how no one knows his girlfriend's name. Honestly, I didn't either. Like, I have no idea. Like,
and all that.
I was still stuck on Chelsea and Amanda. Like, I had no idea who the hell this girl is.
Just keep doing what you do, and spread as much knowledge and
yeah. I'm gonna let's go. Damn, man. Can I be your next girlfriend, Lance?
Yeah,
Newsflash, she doesn't like Latinas.
She brings up
Newsflash.
a really good point about the 23andMe tests and finding out that you have European ancestry or anything like that. Something that maybe is a surprise to you, or for me, in my case, it was the percentages that came as a surprise to me, because I am a Black woman. I identify as a Black woman. I come from two parents who identify as Black people. My 4 grandparents also identify as Black people. The thing to understand is when you pull up those 23andMe's and those Ancestry.com and you see your European ancestry, that does not equate to whiteness. That does not equal white. The first genocide to happen, the first erasure of tribal cultures, the first round of people who fell victim to particularly the Catholic Church's Inquisition were European people, were the original tribes of Europe.
The Spanish Inquisition lasted for 500 years. And in this country, it's only been 450-ish years since its founding. And so just take a second to think about that. There were pagans and tribal people in Europe everywhere before the church came and just annihilated those people and torturing and killing them to the best of their ability with the technology they had. And it was either like
they're basically talking about blood quantum right now. Perish. Somebody said that in the chat as well. So that's what they're talking about,
they
right?
Have been also
like yeah, all of a sudden she's a geneticist. It's true.
800 years.
Like you just heard it. So like, if you have white, if you do like your 23andMe or whatever,
when you see
you're not white. That's what they believe. They believe
English
like
Irish,
people like me,
that is
right?
Not
that have mainly
is a
indigenous blood in me.
Made up
It doesn't count.
Construct.
Blood quantum.
That the people who had practice with their own the tribes of Europe, and then spread that annihilation across the globe, they invented whiteness to justify their actions. This is why when you identify yourself, and I want to put emphasis that video said if you identify as, not if you are white passing. If you yourself identify as white passing,
what the fuck are you talking about?
White.
You can
to
be
me,
white
how
passing.
I receive that is that you are leaning into the identity that separates
what are you talking about?
From everybody else, and not only separate with equality, separate with supremacy. All right, so let's we'll let in.
Well, we at least we got Lance to speak, Professor
list.
Lance, to come out and like say like 10 sentences.
This person's been waiting for a while, Lady Artemis. So I'm gonna go ahead and let them in. Make sure that your camera is on.
Let's see, Artemis.
Hi. Give me just a second. Let me get my camera on.
Thanks. And there's going to be a little chime when you hit that 5-minute mark, and it's not to silence you; it's just to be able to make space for other people.
Video. To me, I took it as, you know, you taking like. I'm gonna be that person that was hurt, that, you know, had that gap where you as you guys said, there was room that could have been filled that was not. So I took it as you almost ripping away my identity. Now, what I'm gonna show you, there's a reason. This picture is me, and that's my first cousin Kyle. My mom, his dad, they're brother and sister. So like literally genetics. You know, the only difference is my dad is white. I got dad's genes. I acknowledge that, but I identify as biracial. My dad died when I was 6. I grew up on welfare. I grew up with a single black mom, you know, who grew up during the civil rights era. Hearing what you guys said, and excuse me for being emotional. Oh God, I told myself I wouldn't do this. It felt like I was being invalidated. Being told by racists. You know, my mom thought when I was born, she is a shield. She looks white. She has a shield because she grew up during the civil rights era. She was hurled negative insults and threatened by the KKK to be strung up in the street. She thought I could be protected from that because of how I look. But that wasn't the case. My racism was different. Being told by white people I should be lynched because my blood is dirty. Because I look like I'm white. Being told by people I was masses favorite. I was clearly a house. You know, and
well, at least she's not like kissing your
white,
ass.
I immediately buck up and I'm like, I am biracial. Thank you. Because I was raised by my mother. I was raised by the black half of my family. I didn't even know the white side of my family because my dad and my uncle, like everyone on my dad's side of the family, because they had an argument, they washed their hands of us. Cool, fine, whatever. But that means I was raised by the black half of my family. That is my identity. That's all I've known. You know, now, do I miss my dad? Did I want to know my dad? Sure, but I knew nothing more of him than he's what, maybe Scottish, Irish, little German. That's it.
Okay,
no.
real quick question for you guys. Is it just me, or is it super weird when somebody starts crying and then immediately within seconds they're like fine, they look fine?
You know, and that was so
is it
powerful
just me? That's super weird for me.
To see that, you know, to see where we have come from and to see where we are now, you know, and then to hear the words, you know, in your video, it felt like, you know, it did feel personal, and I understand. Again, of course I will keep this respectful. It felt personal because of my own personal experiences growing up and telling people with pride, no, I'm not white, I am biracial, and then immediately watching people turn and watching them all of a sudden either start laughing, thinking I'm kidding, or when they realize I'm being serious, seeing that racism come out.
Bro, it's weird.
And
she was just crying right now.
Versus what my mom,
like she was just crying. She looks fine now.
They were two totally different things, but they still shaped me. You know, they still formed a lot of my identity and who I am, and me wanting to stand against that. You know, and I think a lot of people who look like me, or you know, who are presenting or passing, I think a lot of people were hurt because they may have, I cannot say they
Where
have,
are the
obviously, but I
questions?
feel
Where
they may
are
have
the
experienced
questions?
some of what I have,
Everyone's
which is,
coming on here
you know,
telling
you
their life
direct people,
story.
no,
I don't want to
I
be an
am
asshole,
half
but no one
indigenous, or I am
cares,
half
man.
black, or I am half this, and then they get their racist experience. And so with your video, I think it made people feel invalidated by, you know, can you understand what I'm trying to say? I hope I'm making sense.
Oh, you're clear as you're definitely making yourself totally clear.
Okay. And it's hard because my daughter, you know, and my sons are both, they came out black and brown, you know, and my daughter looks like me, you know, and but she's triracial, you know, she's black, white, Latina, and her, you know,
Yeah, I saw the spammer
her
in the chat
eyes
too. I got the
are
spammer.
like
I got him.
mine, you know, her hair is brown. It's a mix of me and my
I
husband.
got it. Let me know if you guys see
know,
that freaking robot again.
I
or
want
that
her
bot,
to know
whatever.
everything about herself, you know, but it's also what, you know, what experiences she may have like I had. I don't want her to ever feel invalidated. Whatever she's going to experience, be it by the Latina community, the white community, the black community, whatever she experiences, I want her to know her feelings are valid. You know, no one can invalidate.
Not to be mean, by where this lady's like spilling her life story,
You
she
know,
should get a therapist. I have a question for you guys at the end. So I got two things for you guys at the end. I have you know, my statement about Amanda and what happened with that, and then I have a really important question that I want to ask all 200 and something of you guys in here.
This
Somebody remind me, please, at the end, if you don't mind.
Exactly the reason why we wanted to come onto this live and talk about this.
Miss Jones sent that
to
bot.
identify
Probably, huh?
as white passing, to identify as white presenting would mean that when someone mistakes you for a white person, you don't correct them. Mm-hmm. You're not ready to deal with the backlash that comes along with someone making a slide racial comment and you flipping the table over and saying, no, I am a black woman. My mother is a black woman, and you will not be able to say these kinds of things around me. So who we were talking to and about
are the people who would have just let that slide or allowed their whiteness to make other racist people comfortable. Right. And you didn't want to use your privilege to stop what they were doing. Mm-hmm. And so it's more along like, it's tough, I know, and that is how you use your privilege. And that's how the work is done. Mm-hmm. It's super complicated and it's really difficult, right. But this is critical race theory.
Mm-hmm. And I can speak from my personal experience that what you say about who you are doesn't really change how you're received in the world. So growing up, being mixed was better than being black. And people would constantly ask me, what am I mixed with? Now, I could say, oh yeah, I'm mixed with and make up a bunch of things, and that person would immediately feel that oh, that's why you look the way you do. That's why your eyes are so pretty. That's why this, that, and the other. But I was taught as a child not to do that, not to try to lean toward something other than black because that's what's seen as bad or ugly. And it's like, oh, you find me attractive? It's because you find black women attractive, and this is what black women look like. So, you know, there's people who, the same way that you could be white presenting in this world and not claim your identity, mixed people can do the same thing. And I feel that this, you know, the woman who was just on, you know, she owns that side of herself, and that's precisely who we did.
So I want to be an asshole, but she lost me. What did she say?
All right. Let's go with, let's see, Bella the Savage 95. I think they've been, is it in order? I think it's in order.
All right, here we go, another one. Hopefully this person will ask a fucking question.
When I hit accept, make sure that your camera is open. And we're at 5-minute mark.
Can you see me?
Yeah.
Sorry, before got locked out of my TikTok, but we're back. What are you gonna do? So I just wanted to get on here real quick because, you know, a lot of people have commented on a lot of the videos that I have done calling me Miss Modern Warrior, which I don't take offense to just because I've kind of followed
here we
journey
go
and stuff like that.
Here we go.
But I think what some people
Lands,
really
we're the same
didn't
lands.
take from the video, and I've been getting into arguments with people all over, is that there is, when you said if you identify, I understood that because obviously I'm brown. And so I'm very, what they say, like look native or however you want to put it. But I grew up around a lot of white passing family. Like if you see my mom, she is almost full-blooded Native American, but that little bit of white blood that's in her just over time. I mean, my grandpa is dark, my grandma. But anyways,
I don't
so
want to be an
I
asshole,
understood
but
things
all these girls, all
differently
these like
from that
Latina
video
looking
because I have
girls and
cousins
so-called
who,
indigenous looking
growing up,
girls, and
their
I say
experiences
so-called
were
because we don't
different than
really know,
mine.
right? I
So
want to offend
obviously, when it
anyone.
came to bullying at
None of
school, and
them,
I went to a predominantly
all
white
of them
school,
should understand that Lance
there was no
doesn't
getting away
like
from it. There was
brown
no
girls.
hiding what
Like,
color I was. When you
clearly.
come back from summer and you're darker than everybody else, and
I gotta
just
say,
things
like
that. So when
Womblands
it
season
came
4,
to
what is
getting
this? Season
attacked,
5 is super
there was
boring,
never
honestly.
that option for me to hide behind anything. And so there's a whole thing that's coming up eventually. But here in Oregon right now, what they're trying to do with one of the tribes, and I'm not going to say any names until it's completely confirmed once they vote on it. One of the tribes here wants to identify descendancy. What that means is as long as you can provide that specific tribal lineage, you can have tribal membership. But what they are trying to do now, they will allow that, but the tribe doesn't want to allow accepting all blood quantum. Meaning, like for most people in Oregon, like I'm mixed with Grand Ron, Celeste,
Honestly, I don't want to be an asshole, but I think they should bring the Chelsea character back. Like ever since she left season 1,
they don't
it
want
hasn't
to do
been the
that,
same.
but they want to recognize
Hasn't been
descendancy.
the same.
So up here, why I say when you play native, it's because around here, white passing, you'll never see them at ceremony. You'll never see them at sweat lodge. You'll never see them working with the youth. You'll never see them doing
Bring
runs,
back
prayer
Woollands,
runs
man.
that we
Bring back
constantly do
Woollands. This
over
is
here.
ridiculous,
But when
honestly.
it comes time to being on the front picture of the Statesman Journal in our capital's newspaper, they're all about it. When it comes to them being the front picture of the tribe recognizing this with the state of Oregon.
So I'm gonna lower the volume on some of these people. So this is exactly what I thought in a way, and I didn't want it to happen. Like this is we didn't get into it, but this is exactly why I didn't want to waste my time, your time, in him seeing that video that I made and so many other people, and then kind of like trying to do its best to do exactly the opposite. And this is the result. I'm not saying he saw my video. I'm just saying there are a lot of other creators like me that were like, oh, he's gonna do this, he's gonna do that. He's probably gonna get on the defense. He probably saw a number of those videos, and this is what happens. Like this is exactly what happens. You fucking knew. I did. I'm telling you.
Culture shock because they don't realize that the outside world
Jesus
is really
Christ.
racist. And here, people know that there's tribal here, but if you're brown, they're going to assume that you're Mexican, which most of us, we are. But one of the bigger issues is here is
next,
passing,
whatever.
Natives
So
taking
we love you,
over funds
Lance.
that
You're the
could be
best,
helping
Lance. Look at him
people
just
who acknowledge
blinking.
their culture, who acknowledge their lineage, who acknowledge everything about being indigenous. And that's what I'm fighting for, because somewhere there needs to be that gap. Like right now, I can tell you we have 6 graduated students from last year's class who all plan to come back and finish out their or start college here. But because we have to worry about giving back to the community, giving back to family members of tribal members who have no native blood whatsoever, it leaves less and less resources for other native people who have that tribal blood. And so a lot of people get really offended. I think there's a guy, something Davis, I noticed that he was going after Lance here for a minute. I've seen a bunch of his videos. Me and him have been going back and forth because he said that, and I'm not even tribal, but he did say that he was adopted and how tribes of Oregon don't accept adopted people, which wasn't the case, because I said outside people. And so a bunch of people took it as, well, you should help family, whether they're tribal or not, as long as they're in with a tribal family. And so here, you know, people constantly utilize resources. And that'll be like a talk for another day, but I just
Oh,
want
thank
to get
God.
out
Yes,
here,
please.
say
Bye.
thanks for letting me
Bye.
in. Lance, got your back. You know,
Got
people
your
will
back.
take every opportunity
Got
to
your back,
try to go
Lance.
against indigenous people, whether you're right or you're wrong, or you make a mistake or you don't. I mean, that's the whole point of life. But I appreciate your words. I appreciate your wisdom. And,
Bro, even their
you know,
their viewers are dropping.
being
Look,
the face of indigenous
you
community
guys
is
can't
very
see my
hard,
mouse, but look,
I mean,
even their
hopefully our
viewership is
ancestors
dropping,
guide you with
dude. Like,
strength, and you know, you just keep
this
on
is,
going
I'm
and
sorry.
educating
Like,
people.
listen,
You
I'm gonna say
definitely
something
motivate me.
that some people might
All right,
get
guys.
pissed off
Thanks for
about.
letting me in.
Like, here, my mouse pointer. There we go. Like up
Yeah,
here, I'm not
I
sure if you guys
think,
can see the
they
viewership.
hit
Watch.
a lot of
Well, you guys couldn't see it
great
earlier,
points.
but it was like at
It's really
at
difficult
4
for
point
folks who
something.
look like
Now it's
this
at 2.8.
to claim to be a descendant, and especially after this happened, because like we were mentioning, they opened up their posts with "as an indigenous person" and just said the most racist, anti-black stuff, and it's disgusting. And so, like, what is really sad is that those people are taking indigenous voices away. They are trying to co-opt our identity, and it's really dangerous, because if that's the case, then what is being indigenous? What is being native? What is it? If it's not blood quantum, if it's not descendancy, if it's not like it's difficult to have. And so to have these individuals not know any of these really intricate laws and social realities and racial realities and political realities, they're going to take away our voice. It's the same thing that happened with Elizabeth Warren.
Shut the
when
fuck
she
up. What are you
applied to be a
talking about?
professor at Harvard Law School. She clicked off American Indian because she thought she can get a leg in, and she did. And so the Harvard, law school brought her in as a staff member and touted her as like a diversity hire, when in reality it's just really difficult to accept that it's not right.
Mm-hmm.
And so it really does a lot of damage when it comes down to the civil rights movement, because Native people are still struggling. We are still challenging these systems, and these opportunities are taken away from us because descendants are stepping
about?
in and
I'm fine.
And
that's right. I'm not Native.
And I think,
Never mind.
just speaking for myself, there are a lot of people who brought their personal stories into this situation, and I see them, I acknowledge them. However, there are some defining characteristics of white supremacy and white privilege. One of those is individualism.
Yeah, he's standing next to you.
Black and brown people who are unambiguously not white, we are part of a collective, whether we want to be or not. So what we do is our conduct is always seen as representative of the whole, especially in Black families. We behave ourselves not because our parents want us to be perceived as well-behaved children, because what we do has an impact on the overarching view of all Black people across this entire country. So in that sense, we wear our burden right out here up front. So what white presenting and white passing people of color need to understand is that the whole story around the tears and the rejection and the grandmother and we don't see that. We don't see that. So you have a responsibility to know who you are when you show up in a room, and that there isn't space for me to consider, oh, maybe they had a really hard life, so I'm just gonna swallow this anti-racist, this anti-blackness and this racism, and I'm gonna let this whole ass white woman talk to me in any way they want. And one day, maybe we'll live in a post-racial society where that doesn't matter, but we're not there yet.
Yeah, because of you, because people like you.
Or a Chicano woman or a Maori woman comes to me and says, you fucked up. Here's, let me tell you all the things that are wrong. I have a different feeling. It's not violence. It's a call in, not a call out. And I know that it's hard to separate your life experience from who you are in the world, and you want everyone to know that you suffered. But like Lex said in the beginning, your suffering has not been because of your skin color. in the broad sense that it has with mine.
Exactly.
And we don't have the privilege of individualism.
You're not as much of a victim as me.
Really quickly, I would like to do a thought experiment, right? So let's imagine we are in 1800s and we are standing about 50 yards away from the U.S. cavalry. But before they decide to attack, they tell people that if you come over to our side and put this uniform on, you will survive, your children will survive, grandchildren, and you will get all the benefits of what will become America. Now, are you going to walk over there and get accepted by them? Do you even have that opportunity? Because I don't. She doesn't. So I know where I stand when, in terms of like the greater scheme of things. Like white supremacy is damn near like this example. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to stand there and push people over there to join them.
So you look like them. Go over there.
Exactly. I'm not doing that. You, if you identify, then you have the opportunity to go and like take off your regalia, your earrings, whatever, to look.
He has
like that.
no.
If you want to bring it to
Oh my God, he's dumber
context,
than I actually thought he is. That's
you get
exactly
done
what
with
happened.
TikTok.
Indigenous people
take
fought
off
against other
your
indigenous
makeup,
people. They joined the
your
ranks
land
of the
back
U.S.
shirt,
armies.
and
What
you
the
walk into
F is he
Target
talking
without
about?
even noticing.
Dude.
I, on the other hand, this past weekend got told, I don't know, 4 times, like vocally, someone said, "Hey, you're a Native American." Like, I'm unambiguously Native, and like I don't have that privilege to hide in crowds, and so it's just really difficult to experience that and to feel as if
Today, Junior, earlier, I'm not sure if you guys noticed. When
like
his
mystical
in
animal.
his thought experience,
And like
he was like,
of me, not because I'm a social media
he's like, where am I going with
influencer, but
this?
because
And
they
then he
said,
couldn't get it out.
You are like, you don't
What are you
really
talking
see
about,
you
bro?
like you.
They've said you don't see them like that anymore. Some guy, we were walking on the boardwalk, was throwing footballs back and forth, person. It was really fun. I was like, oh, that's a cool thing to do. Passes it to Lance, he passes it back. I knew you were going to catch that, Native American.
Oh, I'm sure that happened.
And it's like, thanks for the reminder. Thanks for the othering that's like constantly happening. And so whenever
classic person that throws out random, scenarios that happened to me when I was little, this happened to me.
Put you in a white body. Just pause for a moment. That like you actually have to do the anti-racism work too. All right, let's see who else is in here. Let's see who's been waiting for a while.
Dude, I don't want to be an asshole, bro, but he's like, oh, I totally look like an indigenous man. I'm gonna be real right now. All right, all right. I'm not trying to be an asshole or anything like that. Even though it's gonna sound like that.
Except make sure your camera is on.
So many people say that you'd rather look like a trans woman, which there's nothing wrong with that. Before you look like a Native American. I don't think they're saying that just to be mean to you. Bro, stop acting like you look the most Native American. Like I am the epitome of what a Native American looks like. Shut up, man. God, you're so full of yourself, dude.
While they connect, I'm sorry, I don't know your pronouns.
Maybe come back later.
Yeah, I'm gonna X this out. Maybe put your invitation in again, or put your request in again.
Jesus, dude.
All right, we will go with.
The guy is really full of himself. Like this guy really thinks he is like everybody wants me. As you guys have seen those videos I've used, right? Everybody wants me. I'm the epitome. Okay, maybe this guy might be.
My people, the Bribri.
Maybe this guy will say some good shit. I think.
So let me introduce myself. You are mother, Lance. You and I have spoken once or twice, but I am not a U.S. citizen. I am a citizen of Costa Rica, Central America. I am part of one of the 8 tribes here called the Bribri. People, I wanted to come in because there are a couple of things as an equal to you, as an indigenous, but also with that mixture of Afro-indigenous here in Latin America, that we have to converse over. But first, listen, for your mishaps and the things that has happened in the last few months with that white woman tier situation to today, etc. As a brother, I did feel disappointed by those actions. But at the same time, I will extend my hand, because even if you've fallen on your knees because of your in grades, because of your own actions, and
Never mind.
Because of
Never
the
mind.
enemies out there,
Never mind. I take it back what I said about this guy.
I will never take that hand away.
Disappointment.
But at the same time, we have to hold ourselves to a higher standard, especially here in this Western Hemisphere, from Canada down to Argentina and the Caribbean. Because in the North America...
Bro, real quick, this person's always in my videos. I recognize this guy. He's always in my videos, liking all my videos that are against Lance. What the hell? What the hell is he doing?
To
what are you doing? Are you starstruck?
The Black American experience from Canada down to Argentina and the Caribbean, and the Native American experience from Argentina to Canada and the Caribbean. But something important that you are...
I gotta say, now I know why. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but now I know why.
That has been ongoing for the past 200
Lance's girlfriend,
years.
Ms. Jones, never answered my request to be on. Now I know why.
Both of you
now I know why, dude.
Are nothing more than the current iteration of this process of decolonization that has been ongoing. We have on our backs the actions of our ancestors, the successes, the mistakes, and we hold in our hands what fertile ground, what agua we deposit. Agua means seed in the language of my people.
No, cabrón. Agua means water. So, what are you talking about, bro? It's not that deep. Bro, water means water is agua. What the hell? Fuck are you talking about, dude?
Because the process has been ongoing. Yes, it has been successful, but at the same time, it has been hindered by exceptionalism, by nationalism, by gringo-centric, US-centric, Eurocentric perspectives. Look at how ridiculous people say, oh, the Western world, and they add Europe. No, Europe is not the Western world. We are. From Argentina up to Canada and the Caribbean. Europeans, the Western Europeans, are not the Western world. They're the Western European world, but they're not the Western world. And at the same time, from North America, we, especially United States, look, the classifications, Hispanic is not a race.
The Patriot girl, I already requested, they didn't.
That's an ethnic,
they never answered back.
Cultural,
I follow the instructions. Excuse me. I messaged Ms. Jones and I never got a response back.
That we mention as Latin America or Mesoamerica are Afro. They have, yes, the colonizer blood or European, Western European, as well as Eastern European. Then you have mixtures of Asian and Afro descendants.
I'm done. This is where I know the guy's done. Colonizer blood. What the fuck is colonizer blood, dude?
Because we carry.
What's colonizer blood? What is that? Can you go to like the hospital and ask for colonizer blood? Like, sir, are you AB positive? Oh no, I'm colonizer blood. What the fuck are you talking about, man?
Saying this at the same time, we understand that the concept of indigenous is a concept of around the world. Pero juntos,
the bot's back, the bot's back. Get the bot, get the bot.
United but not mixed. In what way? I can't speak for Pacific Islanders. I cannot speak for the Maori experience or any other Pacific Islanders. I cannot speak for the Africans. I cannot speak for the Asians. And I cannot speak for the European natives. That's not my place.
Do you think some of the modern warrior like soldiers are sending the bots?
I am son of the bean. I am son of the cacao. I am part of the Nicoya kingdom, which people forget. Everybody talks about the Aztecs and the Mayans, but they forget that there was another kingdom outside that, the Nicoya kingdom. The Newok Yoala.
Yahweh, Yahweh. Dude, come on, your name is Juan. That's it, you're done.
The Guaranis.
Stop, dude.
And so many others in the south. They forget about the Taínos, the Calinangos. There's over 1,126 tribes of indigenous that we survived the 600 years of darkness.
Thank you for invoking their names.
I will always invoke their names, and I'm just invoking a few, but there's 1,126. And the other concept, we in Latin America, we don't have the system that you have in the United States. We are not recognized. We fought for that recognition. Pablo Pespere, Galvarino, amongst many others. Our freedom of today, the independences of Latin America, North, Central, South, and Caribbean, is constructed in the blood of colonizers. People don't realize that in the War of Independence, 25,000 British died, were killed. And you know what? It may sound horrible, but I never forget that we had to build our freedoms in the blood of the colonizers. And we never have to let them forget that.
The fuck?
El
What is this
machete
guy
no es
talking
solo para
about?
cortar caña, es también para cortar cabeza. The machete is not only to cut sugarcane, it's also to
Okay,
cut
so
head.
what? Now you're threatening white people? What the hell are you talking about, dude?
And at the same time,
Stop, dude. Bye.
of other
Bye.
regions of the
Didn't that
world,
thing already ring?
we're with
Come on,
you.
man.
You're with us, but you're not us, and we're not you. We respect that because we understand the importance of your own identities, of your own geographical livelihoods, and that the processes that you have lived to decolonize. But at the same time, the reason we hold ourselves to a higher standard is because our actions in the last 200 and 246 years gave much more strength to the purposes of decolonization, either in Asia, Africa.
Dude, I know the bell rang. Am I
Pacific
just me? The bell rang, dude.
The Polynesians.
Dude, you're done.
Look,
You're off.
anybody knows
That's
that
it,
the
dude.
Polynesians arrived here before the colonizers, because our mitochondrial DNA in parts of Central America and South America are Polynesians.
Thank
We
you.
share that.
I want to interrupt you. I'm just gonna just make space
Jesus,
for
she
for some other
finally
folks.
does something.
Yeah, let me
Thank you so
just
much.
to
I want
conclude.
that thought. Absolutely finish
Yeah,
that thought.
my last thought. So listen, both of you, brother and sister. I speak to you in this language of the colonizer because that's the only way we can understand each other. Unfortunately.
Shut up, dude. Don't act like you
Yo
fucking
sé que
speak
tal vez
Nahuatl
en
or
español
something.
no nos
Stop.
entendamos, pero bueno, esa es otra lengua. I think that in Spanish. But what I'm going to
You know he's
tell
talking
you is,
Spanish, dude. None of these motherfuckers
do
speak
not
Spanish.
forget your place. Your place as mine is that we carry that burden. And at the same time, we
fuck is he
carry
talking
our
about,
own
dude?
liberation. And at the same time, we carry the seeds for our next generations to be more connected.
What?
Don't forget that. Because if you do, I will check you.
Oh.
We will check you.
Oh, well, we will
And
check
as my
you.
people say,
We will check you.
Beshko Wowlaba.
Yeah.
That's how we say goodbye. Beshko Wowlaba.
Okay.
It
Bye bye.
means
Blah
walk
blah blah.
with your eyes.
Dude, stop. Stop.
Walk with your eyes open.
Stop, dude. It's embarrassing, man. It's embarrassing.
Beshko Wowlaba.
This motherfucker talking Spanish to Lance and this other chick. Like, dude, they're not Spanish.
Yeah. Hard truths.
Oh, hard
I like
truths.
that, together but not mixed.
Yeah. I like the
He doesn't know. He doesn't know.
indigenous people all around the world.
So I like the.
different experience and different
Yeah.
systems that they need to navigate. One doesn't always equal the other.
Yes, you guys are saying
It's, like,
Spanish.
really
Yeah,
important
Spanish
to
is a
understand in regards
colonizer
to,
language as well.
American Indians. That is how we are
That guy,
legally
that's
recognized,
embarrassing, dude.
here
That was
in America.
embarrassing.
Our experiences are not in alignment with Canada in terms of like the political realities of our identities, and or Australia and or New Zealand. And so, yes, like we are indigenous and we are fighting colonization and white supremacy. We just have different approaches to it.
Yeah, yours is a racist one.
And for those who have just joining the live, yes, the comments are off. They're off because we don't find them to be productive in anybody's lives.
They're off because
whatsoever.
you're
But
a
we
bunch
knew
of
that people were
pussies.
going to be coming
That's why they're
in,
off.
sharing really important information, their personal stories, and you cannot listen and type at the same time. It's also very hard to ignore comments, and we just didn't want who's flooding this this live and disrupting the vibe. So those who are joining us in our live, we're giving 5 minutes. Obviously, I'm not just going to cut you off and end it. There's a chimer that goes off that will let you know just to wrap up the thought. There are a few people who are going to carve a little bit more time for. These include people who were caught in our crossfire. If they join the live,
how were they caught in the crossfire if they're in here agreeing with you?
Who work in the field of diversity, equity,
dude, if you're gonna go ahead and plan,
who work in the nonprofit sector, who can weigh on this, educators,
your life, do a better
really
job at lying.
Their platforms to this over the past week or so. So when we ask people to join, be prepared to have your camera on. We cannot talk to voices about race. We need to talk to faces about race. And we are not discussing anything related to the Wombland saga.
She said the Wombland saga. She knows. She knows. She's like, we're not discussing it because, I get jealous. It's only me now.
With Tamira.
Oh, that was the best, man. This is the best part. Throughout this whole damn thing that she said that was really the
Tamira,
best part.
I'm going to go ahead and set the timer for 7.
Oh my god, dude.
Hey. Lance, I just want you to know that when I saw that first hate colonizer, I said, hey, there he is. There's the guy I've been waiting on. Because I feel like there just wasn't enough indigenous representation in the United States. So,
where do you live, lady?
When I saw you,
where do you live? What are you talking about?
And I know that,
Yeah, we're up 7. Elizabeth Williams, we're at 7 now.
But you're the person that they need. You're the person that they need.
I think we're at 7,
It takes a lot to unlearn white supremacy and
Elizabeth's like 701
mindset.
True.
It takes a lot to unlearn that. When you first put out that video that said, I don't move out of the way of white people on the sidewalk, that made me rethink to myself, do I do that? Am I doing that subconsciously, making room for them, making space for them, and not even realizing that I'm doing that? And so I put it to the test, and lo and behold, I was doing that. I was shrinking myself and making myself smaller to let them be bigger.
Brown girls,
and
black girls, everyone that is not
citizen,
essentially white or white mixing or white passing.
So
Lance does not date you.
You're here
this
to
lady,
make
Ms.
people
Jones, qualified
and
because she has
like
a white daddy.
I wanted
Stop.
you to succeed.
Get off Lance's
I want you
balls.
to get back to work.
Jesus,
I
man.
looked at your work, what you were doing, helping
See, isn't it much better that
elders
we're
get
here? At
to
least you guys can
voting
comment here and
stations
not this
during the
bullshit
election.
live.
I
That you guys
watched
couldn't
all
say
that
anything.
footage
Jesus,
just
dude.
to know who you were, and I want you to get back to work. And I was even thinking, like, when people were offended by the statement, when I saw the video, I wasn't offended. I thought it was vague and didn't have enough nuance that people could be offended, but I wasn't offended. My children are biracial, but I'm not raising tragic mulattoes here. I'm raised. When they come into a Black space, they know that they belong. They are educated on Black history, not the ghetto and poverty. Black history. They can tell you the name of Africa.
What? It's all part of it. It's all part of the.
I teach them the names of things
many different people's
before
history.
the colonizers colonized it. That's what I teach. That's what I want them to connect to, not rap music. Well, I like rap music, but the ghetto and all that stereotypical crap. That is not Blackness to me. That is something that was created and shoved down our throats. And that can't be.
That music was created by other Black people who they shove it down your throats. What are you talking about?
The video.
What are you talking about?
Some person was 1/16 white.
Every
I was
single
thinking,
race
isn't that
has some
when
type of ghetto and ghetto
Pocahontas's
stories.
lineage
That
were
gets
considered white, and
that's
they got
economical, dude. That's not
told that
racial.
they had honorary
If you
white
never have
status?
it, you don't have a story of
So
like
you
the
can
ghetto. It's
tell that
because
that was just
maybe you were born in a
something that was
much better
created and
economical
given. There's no
situation.
such
But it
thing
has nothing to do with
as
being black or
whiteness.
white or
Like my children,
Asian or
I do
Mexican. What
not
are you
call
talking
them
about?
white. I call them, they're Black German Americans. My husband's family has, all his records where they signed in on Ellis Island.
I see
From
someone saying
Germany.
shots. I should have
So
taken
I
shots,
do
man.
not call my
This is
children white
ridiculous.
because I don't want them to be associated with that mindset and being a colonizer. I've met plenty of biracial people who are colonizers. They're colonizers.
How?
And some
How are they
in my husband's
colonizers?
family,
How?
they are, they reject anything black. They don't want to learn about anything black history. They want to remain ignorant. So I got what you meant when people were saying, well, I'm 1/16 native. You're a colonizer. Because these people, they don't know about the missing and they don't know about MMIV. They don't try to stop, the graping of our land by poisoning our water systems. They don't do anything other than hang on to that Native American heritage and use it as a guard or to absolve themselves of any accountability whatsoever. And that is just so infuriating when I come across that, because I live in Nebraska and I come across that a lot. It's just a lot of people who claim to have heritage of color and they don't do anything regarding black and brown issues. And it's infuriating, it's disappointing, but I want you to keep doing what you're doing. I do want you to do more of the Hate Colonizer videos. I want to see those.
Yeah, we totally
I want
do.
to
Yeah.
see education coming from your platform and what you're doing. No, I don't think you should
I'm gonna make
stop.
my screen a little
I don't think
bigger
you
because
should
this is
stop
annoying. I want to see my
because
stats.
some people
And this lady
made
over
up a
here with this
fuss
news
over
fuzz, snooze fest. I'm
your
sorry.
dating life or a
This is
fuss
ridiculous.
about
Like,
a
this is
video
just
that
fucking-
was
this is a
too
joke.
vague. And I knew what you meant.
My smoke
and,
alarm going off? No, it's
there are
I
plenty
put my
of
AC.
people
It's freaking hot
supporting
in
you
here.
and want you to continue. We don't want you to give up your space and quit because
He's
they
never
want
going
you
to give up his space.
We
He's not
want you
going to
keep
quit.
working.
Lance is a narcissistic asshole. He's
You're
gonna
the
be
front
here.
man.
Trust me, as long
And
as he
I know
can be
there's
here.
a lot of other indigenous creators on this app that I follow, and I love all of your content, and I love that you're fighting back, and I love that
Fighting back against who?
that you have a voice here, because I read some indigenous newspapers, but it's not like
Oh yeah.
I actually
Name
get to
one.
hear
Name one
from,
newspaper.
the mouth of an indigenous person, which I would like to hear their opinions more often.
Yeah,
because I
so
don't
us, but
usually
he
get to hear
hasn't
that.
invited anybody.
But yeah. So I'm gonna wrap it up. I heard the bell, and I just want you to know that you have plenty of people supporting you.
Tell me the
and
numbers
just
are
keep
dropping.
doing
Yeah,
what
well,
you're
their
doing,
numbers are
brother. We're
dropping
out
and my
here.
fucking numbers are dropping because this is a snooze
So,
fest.
Yeah.
Like, this is just ridiculous. And I'm sorry, guys. Like, I
Peace.
honestly thought it was going to be at least somewhat entertaining. He was going to get some challenges.
So what I keep wanting to drive home is not to take for granted the programming and brainwashing that got whiteness to be centered in so many conversations in the first place. What is whiteness? What is race? And I've seen so many passive aggressive comments being like, oh, because of my DNA, I don't get to look at the moon, or because of my genetics, I don't get to do this, that, and the other. There is no, and you Google this, Google is free. There are countless TED Talks, academic journals. There is absolutely no genetic determinant, no basis for race whatsoever. If you pulled my DNA, even if you could figure out where in the world my DNA is from, you will find the genetic determinant for a white person, a mahogany skinned dark person, and everything in between. There
Okay,
is
I don't want to be an
absolutely
asshole. This
nothing
is
at the
not,
molecular,
you know,
at the DNA
this is not
level
anything against this lady. I
that
don't even know who the fuck she is.
identifies you racially.
Like, she
It
should
is
shut up.
a
I'm sorry. Like,
made up
let Lance talk. Let Lance be Lance. Let Lance be the hateful
just like
freaking,
gender,
you know,
just like
person.
currency,
Come on, like.
just like
I think the day that's why he does it. He said it multiple times on videos.
American because
I like to be infuriating. I like to stir the pot. Stir the pot,
I'm
bro.
American because of
like,
my legal status and my
you know?
passport and where I was born and the language that I speak. But you are not your race because there's something in your DNA that makes you white. And like we said before, if you are
more blood quantum,
ancestry, and you know exactly where your people are from, you don't need to associate yourself with whiteness. You can learn about the original tribes of Europe who experienced the very same genocide, the very same oppression that was the practice ground for what happened on a global scale. And that's what we wanted to come into this live to reiterate.
Hold on. I'm seeing people saying that the hat and mustache, the GIF is telling him he's a colonizer.
That race
is that true?
Is just something that came up with it. I identify as a dog mom. You know, some people identify as a dog parent. You can identify as white if you'd like to, and if you do so, for me.
So hold on. You can identify as a white person, but can you identify as an indigenous person? Or are you gonna ask for like lineage and blood quantum and all that crap?
And you don't have.
So these are the questions that somebody would ask.
Take it personally,
right?
And I feel
if they actually invited
very
people.
strongly that there's a lot of personal work that white presenting, white passing, and white people need to do with their own association with their whiteness. Me being pro-black, me being pro-black and brown, me being pro-indigenous is not anti-white by default. But whiteness, by the nature of its existence, thrust into society, and we continue to buy into it in order to place certain looking people above other looking people.
Exactly. Really quick observation. Now y'all see why I'm dating her?
And who else?
Our conversations are really
her and who else?
Next person.
All right. This person has been waiting for a while. Philip, when I let you in, make sure that your camera is on. All right, Philip, try again.
What
I'll
the
keep your
hell,
eye on
man?
your name.
Wow. Just fucking wow, man. No, but seriously, can you guys tell me?
Izzy?
Is that true?
I do have a
GIF?
list of folks
Is
that
that
asked
like?
ahead of time.
Is that a GIF
So I'm gonna go ahead and
to call him
let
out as a
in
colonizer,
Izzy.
like the cowboy hat? I guess that makes sense.
If you could make sure that camera is on, friend.
Dude. I'm pro Taco Tuesday. Oh, shoot. Same.
Hello. There.
Hi.
Oh my
First of all,
god.
hello. And so you'll hear that little chime go off, and it's not to say stop talking. It's just a, little wrap up.
Yeah, I've been paying attention. I'm following. First of all, hi. How are you? I just wanna. I'm actually going to be brief. I did want to start by saying like.
Okay, brief. Go.
This has
Go.
been
6:38. Go.
An interesting life. You guys okay? Before I get into it. That's good.
Yeah, we got held space for each other.
Are you okay?
We were there
You're
for
fine.
each other. We were deep in
fine.
conversation
You okay?
all week about everything revolving around the allegations of.
Make no
everything's
mistake,
all
this girl has
yeah.
to be crazy like Chelsea. I'm
we're
starting to see that a little bit of that.
Talk is,
Controlling, very controlling. Just me? She looks very like controlling.
Y'all are brutal.
Listen, that is what is like to be on the internet, right?
Whoa. Did he just say that y'all are brutal?
My only comment to this whole thing is that it's coming from somebody who's an immigrant. English was not my first language. I had to learn it at the age of 13. And I was thinking about when I saw the video, I was just like, this is not gonna end well. Because I was thinking about if you are talking about such a complex and layered topic, it's important for you to have the vocabulary to have that conversation, not only as the person who's initiating the conversation, but also the person you're addressing, right? And I think one particular thing, one point of contention that I think is what triggered all this is what white passing mean in this country and for Black Americans during chattel slavery, okay? And I think because you have the platform and because you initiated the conversation without taking the necessary steps to make sure everybody was prepared, it would be nice to see a follow-up video talking about what white passing means so that we can actually see what your intentions were when you made the original video. Because I feel like I've gotten lots of videos and responses about what happened, but it's like I don't, and you guys have explained that you did not intend to harm, but the harm was there. And I'm curious about what you guys' intent was when you originally made the video, and if everybody was on the same page as what passing means, what were you trying to communicate with that video?
What do you mean what the intent was?
I'm not going to keep you long. I know there's a lot of people. I feel like it's very important.
You said it was quick.
When you have that kind
it's
of
like 5 minutes already.
You have to have the vocab if you're going to have these types of nuanced conversations, because guess what? TikTok is not the place to have nuance. And if you're not going to be, if you already go into it knowing that most of the nuances you're saying is not going to be received, you at least have to give people the vocab. So that's it. That's all I wanted to say.
Play random music in the background. I would, but I think my stream gets seconded out if I play music. But you're right, man. I'm about to play music. Like, this is fun.
I'll be right back.
This is crazy. He said, "You were back." He's like, I gotta go take it out on the freaking mirror.
Yeah, so
come on.
I can speak for
Come
myself,
on.
and I would love to say that we had very benevolent and studious and academic intentions behind making that video. I'm not gonna lie to you, like, I was feeling very petty. The trajectory that landed on that video was, I'm a very private person, and I've been very reluctant to do videos together, given all the circumstances and the multitude of assumptions that go around on who I am and how long have I been in the picture, and Lance's blah 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 blah. So it's been kind of a slow process of being comfortable with sharing our relationship.
Nuance counter 19, rip.
So when we decided to, it was 99 problems, and
but a bitch ain't one.
If you think I don't like you think I hate colonizers, wait till you meet my girlfriend. The amount of you picked the bottom of the barrel, you can do better, she's problematic, the amount of you're only with her because aunties don't want you, was just like just a massive slap in the face. And so he followed that up with I'm surprised at the anti-blackness showing up in my comments right now, which then made more. Mm-hmm. And for me, we were talking about my different responses to those criticisms, because I know as a Black woman, when one of our men brings home a white woman, we do have
your time's up. Your time's up.
There's a feeling. There's a thing that happens that you're
it's
like,
you're done.
What's that about? You know, and it is judgmental. But when that's coming from a unambiguously native looking woman or man or person, it feels different. It just feels different. It shouldn't exist. I shouldn't feel differently. All negativity should feel the same. But I was like, there are a lot of white people speaking for this whole community, and I'm just confused about this. Like,
wait, so what if these white people identify as native?
You should check your microaggressions. You should really
logic anyone
how you're
no okay, just
how
me.
you're
Okay,
speaking
cool.
to me.
Cool. That's fine.
Because you look like a whole ass white person. I'm not white. I'm indigenous. Not claiming your indigenous identity because of the pride of who you are. Claiming your indigenous identity because somehow that gives you a pass that's different.
Is their live gonna get crashed? It's thinking. I don't know what happened. Did they crash it? I don't think it's my internet. My internet's fine. Oh no, did they crash their live? Oh no, we're gonna miss out so much important things. What will we'll ever do? I don't know what happened, guys. It's just thinking. I can refresh real quick. See if that helps, maybe. Let me see.
Conversation.
There we go.
And yeah, I was appalled at what was coming out from those posts that we made together. And
no, you weren't.
I wanted to challenge.
Dude, stop lying.
And it did. And it was really interesting too, because like when I posted that, a lot of natives came out and said like, I don't like light-skinned natives. And I'm really curious, like how did you get white and then light-skinned? How did you put it together? How did you, a huge conversation, and it was really gross because everybody came to their aid. Mm-hmm. They protected their proximity to whiteness. We had countries from people from other countries coming in and coddling them, when in reality, brown and black natives and people are targeted every day because of our complexion. And so like it was interesting to see that, and like they're calling me a gatekeeper or invalidating their experience, when in all reality, it was like, how did you connect yourself to white? Mm-hmm. Where did that connection happen? Mm-hmm. And now they're trying to excommunicate me for I don't know what reason.
Oh, I hate excommunicating.
And so like I'm glad that happened, and it unveiled a really interesting issue within the Native community that I'm going to keep challenging.
And we know just from the events of other people's lives that unfortunately, I mean, I'm going to have to do some inner work and some healing from this, but like I concluded that Black women are the only people who hold space for me. We apologize profusely for our response to this, and as so many people have said, with having a platform comes a responsibility. And one of those responsibilities is just ignoring trolls and just letting things just slide. But that's really, really hard to do. And I found that when Black women were trying to hold space, particularly to convey the point that the only reason why you have the vernacular of white passing is because of us. The only reason why you can talk about colorism and critical race theory and intersectionality and womanism is because Black academics came together and said we need words for these things that we experience. And they have been borrowed and co-opted, which is fine if you keep the original definition of it. But it's the erasure of Black intellect. I mean, it's the erasure from me in that video that people say Lance should be responsible for what he said. What did Lance say in that video?
You're white.
I said, if you identify as white passing, and it was almost as if I wasn't in that video. And it was like, he's some puppeteer, all these accusations of Lance thrusting Black women and women in general in front of the he's shielding himself with us.
Yeah,
do you
yeah,
think
because
that
he
we're
usually
stupid?
uses, yeah, because you
Do you
he
think
uses
that
women.
Black women, after being the most educated demographic in this country,
because we know,
we would let a 33-year-old man come and puppeteer us? Any woman who's speaking up is because she's speaking her mind.
Have you met Chelsea and Amanda? No, just me?
So
Okay.
it just became this sort of visceral reaction to what is my everyday experience, which is trying to put myself out there as an educator, and then having just this belittling sense of not existing.
You're an educator
and that even
now.
when we tried to make space, we as Black women tried to make healing space for us. You need to let Indigenous voices speak. You need to let an Indigenous woman speak. You have to open your comments. You have to do this. You have to do that. You can't delete your things. You should keep them up. You should open it. I have never seen any other group of people on this app and in this world have every single movement of our lives be so ridiculed and infantilized that you guys can come in and tell us how to run our own platforms, and that it's somehow bigotry for us to make space for ourselves.
You're a victim. You're a victim. Sorry,
I
you're a
feel
victim.
very much only protected by Black women as it stands right now. And I feel particularly sensitive to the feelings of Afro-Indigenous people in this moment, because where is this energy for them?
There's nowhere.
The viewer numbers, it's 2.9. Oh.
The fragility
he comes out
of light-skinned natives was ridiculous. You had other countries come to your aid. You protected your proximity to whiteness. Why are you rolling the red carpet for white supremacy? Like, why are your leaders putting a headdress on the Pope? The leader of the organization that put your children in the ground. Why are you protecting that? I'm not talking to you specifically, but like, and you calling me a monster?
Dude, your comments are off. I know you're not talking about fragility.
I took a critical lens.
Come on.
And I wanted to focus it somewhere, and it unveiled a lot of truths. And I think it's really interesting because you conjured up all these negative things and associated it with me, and told me I'm a colorist, which I'm dark brown, and if you're light skinned, you can't experience colorism. You called me racist when we all know white people can experience racism, and you called me all these terrible things, and just left me out to dry. It's just really disheartening to see the reaction when Afro-Indigenous people are just trying to be recognized and as in terms of like their existence.
Mm-hmm.
But the moment I challenged whiteness, the world came over.
Literally the world. And I know that I have a lane, and Afro-Indigenous issues is not one of them, but like I challenge that a bit.
He doesn't want to let her go forward anymore.
Black community
dude,
that you may
it's giving me
understand.
Trump vibes. Look at him. Remember when Trump was like doing this to go to the front? Look at him. He won't. He's like, no, I'm gonna stay in the front. Look at him.
People who were dismissed by their own families because they were in interracial relationships. People who are struggling to just reconnect, and they can't. And I see you don't look native in the comments. You can't be a model for this clothing company because you look like a black woman, as if a black woman can't look native. And likewise, just this this
so
tribal,
she's native now? So she's black, white, and native? Native American?
That's not a federally recognized
what type of native?
tribe. Like suddenly you're in alignment with what the government did to you, because it excludes black people. And I just would love to see even just a fraction of the amount of energy, global energy, put around the protection of white passing and white presenting white indigenous people as you would for black indigenous people. And I'm not talking about the we were here first, like pseudoscience kind of folks, because it's another ignorant thing that people are doing is grouping this kind of these very, very, very small but outspoken minority who has their shit all, they're just lost in the sauce. Legitimate people who are afraid to even say that they are indigenous. When, if we're going to talk percentages, we're talking about mothers and grandfathers that are native, that are completely, fully rejected from their community. And what identity do they have to cling to is the black community who's always had open arms for them. So if there's one thing that we want to come from this is bring that energy for them as well.
Where's their energy? Where's their love?
Where's yours?
Where's their recognition?
Where's your energy, bro? You're hiding.
Really sad.
Right, so
you're hiding behind your
guests.
girlfriend. You're hiding behind locked comments. You're hiding behind a whole bunch of supporters that you guys freaking vetted.
That I don't recognize.
Talk about a political
from
bullshit town
before,
hall.
but
Like,
that's okay.
God, dude. I wouldn't be surprised if this guy. Well, wait a minute. He does want to run for politician, right?
Dana
I wouldn't be surprised.
Alexander. So make sure.
I wouldn't be surprised, bro. I wouldn't be surprised. This is ridiculous.
When I accept your request, you have your camera on, and I'll set a timer for 5 minutes, and a little ding will go off when you hit that point. It's not a shut up, it's a wrap up your thought.
Oh, honey.
Hi.
Hi. So I guess I should introduce myself to
come on, what's going on?
Miss Jones, I haven't met you before. Hello. And Lance, we've been mutuals for a while. So thanks for letting me come up.
A mutual. A mutual. One of those supporter.
I had planned on
Another supporter. I don't know. Here, let me refresh again. What the fuck, man? This is ridiculous. There we go. There we go.
And the reason why I didn't know if I was going to join and whether I was going to watch or ask to be a guest was because it just seems like so many people are hurt right now, and I don't even know where to begin on how to solve things. And I'm all about solutions. That's what I'm about. That's what people know me for.
Okay, then fucking solve.
You know,
I'm all about solutions, but I don't know how to solve this.
Root of things, and then finding some sort of way to
God.
move forward.
Jesus.
I did notice that the tone of the conversation shifted just before I came up. So I'm trying to shift myself back because what you guys were just talking about and the way that you were talking about it kind of got me a little riled up, and I was like, so I'm just trying to bring myself back to where I was probably about 5 minutes ago.
Nada. You got fucking nothing, dude. Shut up.
Let's talk about the video that you put up, the one that had so much space that left for people to fill in that space with what they thought.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I saw it, I knew right away. In the first view, I was like, Lance is gonna get it now. I knew also of the intent, and I think other creators that have come up have said that, is that I knew what yous were getting at. Totally knew. But the reality is that intent in the end sometimes doesn't really matter, because people's realities is their truth. And the way people perceived and took that is the reality that they live in. And so they hurt. And the reason why they hurt is because they care. Not all, but a lot of them, Lance, a lot of them care for you, or, you know, think highly of you. And when we get hurt like that by people who we trust or give part of ourselves to, it's easy for us to lash back hard, right? We all know how to push those buttons with people that we love.
Hey, this guy just said, blah, 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 blah. Can somebody, find a way to see if I can join this live? I'll fucking join. I'm telling you right now. I'll join right now. He blocked me, so I can't request. And with my other ghost accounts, when I go, I'm not over like whatever amount of followers, so I can't freaking request. But I don't know if one of you guys can like request and real quick jump in and be like, hey, bring on JT at show, unblock him, Lance. Maybe we can get something out of this, because this is, God, this is ridiculous.
I read the comments.
I know he wants and he needs the views and the money, because he said it himself. And he knows he's bored on this shit. He wants to talk. He's bored. We're all bored. This is ridiculous. This is not what he, I'm pretty sure what he wanted.
In a combative way. Do I think that you can still gain trust in all of that back from the Indigenous community? I think you can.
Okay, somebody's saying, oh, this guy's an Indigenous Canadian. No disrespect to this guy. But he's a mutual. He's like,
that you trust,
you know, safe space, echo, echo, echo.
Just really trying to figure out and reshape how you're going to come on this app and
okay, no worries. You guys don't need to go. I mean, people are saying if I leave, I can't watch. I know. Like if you have another phone or something, or anybody else, like, God, man. Okay, bye, guy. Dude, your thing ran. Bye. Yeah, bye. Bye.
As an Indigenous person, we don't see a lot of other Indigenous people have huge platforms, you know, see them in the news. We don't see that all the time. And so it's easy for us to gravitate towards
no, the person didn't say anything,
like
TL.
You,
he didn't say anything.
Has been able
Nothing.
To build this platform. But I think as people who are on this app, we have to remember that these people are also human. They are just like any of us, like my next door neighbor.
I agree, by the way, Brad.
And
He's saying the live is going to end and it's going to be like, oh, this
we
was so tough.
ourselves
Agree.
have to remember,
100%.
if we expect kindness on ourselves, that we should be able to show that as well. Whether you have...
Again, for the 184 of you guys watching this, remember at the end, I have a couple things I want to say. So you guys, hopefully you guys can stick around. I'm going to refresh this. I have to keep refreshing this. I don't know why.
That we should be able to show that as well. Million. I'm not saying that what you guys have done is right, but I think a conversation and the work needs to be done. And I'm going to get backlash from this, from my friends saying this, because I haven't said anything, nothing about this. I made a few jokes, but I haven't said anything. And I just think we just need to move past, because there's bigger things than this right now. You know, I just came out of ceremony, and I came into this. And I want to go back to ceremony, because this noise, and I just, Jesus. Lance, I hope you can figure out how to correct everything and move forward, and for all of us to just do the work that we need to do. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. Okay, Lance. Okay, Poppy. Okay. Hugs and kisses.
Yeah, if anything, we're not stopping.
All right, okay.
Like, the work is going to be...
No.
It's going to continue.
Don't try to, like, posture over here as you're tough, bro. You're not, look at you. Like, no. Right. Hell no.
Dr. Chero.
Just block everyone.
All right, when I hit accept, make sure that your camera is on, if you don't mind.
Can you hear me?
Oh, damn.
We can, yes.
Yeah, hold on, let me turn on my camera. Oh, there I am. All right. Can you see me?
No, we can't fucking see
Not
you.
yet, but it should just be a little delay.
No?
Not yet. There we go.
Okay. Alrighty. Mogawati se hopa. Kautiu ista eshash katsana hanusta. I just greeted you in my ancient language called Karis. I'm from Laguna Pueblo, the same community as Secretary Deb Haaland. And I'm actually here in North Carolina for a conference, an Indigenous conference through ACPA. So I actually been hearing the TikTok live all evening while I was on the beach. And it was very beautiful because it was a time of healing. And I want to share a quick story. So with our Indigenous community, Carlisle Indian School, back in the day, of course, the photographs were there, where our Indigenous people, right? And you look at Captain Henry Pratt, and he was a pretty stellar marketing person because he completely impacted the way people thought about our Indigenous community with the photographs that were used. So I take that as a storyteller, and I'm a fellow TikToker. I'm in education. I got my PhD in higher education. And so Lance, I probably have some mutual colleagues that you probably know in higher ed. But when I look at that Indigenous population, our community, I know that as a storyteller, Indigenous storyteller, that I have a tremendous responsibility for the platform that I have. Now, Lance, I don't have a platform as big as yours, but I think about our ancestors that were in those photographs and that we have the privilege now. And as college students and as young people, the reason why I was following the story and going through the lives, I think a lot of our people who were hurt aren't here. Because I know that a lot of the times over the last month, what I've heard is that, oh, Lance's commentary, whatever, all this stuff that we hear lives rent-free in their minds for like a month. And they're like, nope, I'm not going to dedicate any more time. But I listen because I want to know, how do we reach our young people? And I know a lot of young people follow you, Lance. And I know a lot of people, we shouldn't have to be the spokesperson for an entire generations of people, of Indigenous people. But unfortunately, it seems like we're put in that category because we're storytellers and we share stories in different ways. And it comes with a tremendous amount of responsibility. And I think that as you post this content, you know, knowing that our young people are watching you and it sucks because like, it's almost like you have to carry the weight on our shoulders, right? And we shouldn't have to have that burden to carry all these voices with us, but unfortunately,
I
that's
thought she was going to be a
what
good
it
one.
is in these
She's not going to be a
spaces,
good one.
especially in education,
Like,
right? Especially in higher ed.
when she said,
And
"Oh, the people that
I
you
think
heard are
that as
not
I've
here,"
heard
I was
our
like,
Maori
"Ooh, okay, good."
relatives, our
Nah.
Aboriginal relatives from Australia, like, I know there were so much people that were hurt, and I, you know, and it's interesting, like, when I look at
Modern
these different
forehead.
lives and comments and what
Rip.
people are talking about and seeing people on TikTok, right? I was like, golly, like, it's so complex. Our identity as Indian people is so complex because it's like we have this generational trauma and history, and yet we're placed with all these burdens. Like it's so
this ain't
hard.
a-
And then we
this
have a
ain't a
card to
dub,
prove how
it's a
much
dud.
native we are. Sometimes you don't have a card, like,
Yeah.
and it's just such a hard responsibility. But
I thought we
Lance,
had
my
something.
question to you though is, and I've heard this from there's not a lot of young men.
What the hell is this happening? Why is this happening? No, that's not a.
There when you see a native man in higher education. But I want to know, Lance, what to you is a warrior? Because I've heard a lot of commentary from elders from all over the world about what a warrior is.
Yeah,
in
what's a
this day
warrior,
and
Lance?
age. And I just want to know from you what that means. And as a digital caretaker, a fellow digital caretaker, I'm following you because I want to know how you respond to these in different spaces. But that was my 2 cents, and I appreciate the time.
Yeah,
too.
what's a warrior, Lance? Come on. What's a
Thank
warrior?
you. For me, a warrior is someone who prioritizes the people, right? I think back in the olden days when colonization and manifest destiny was like in full swing, we had warriors who went out there to try to stop the not progress, but the annihilation of our people. And so in a modern day context, I still feel that is our responsibility. As a modern native, as a modern Indian, right? Like I'm trying to utilize my mind and try to attack other ideas, to attack certain perspectives that I don't agree with. And so that is like what I think a warrior is. A warrior is someone who finds a path and despite falling or leading the people in the wrong direction, you know, like that's going to happen. But like, I feel like that's me. I feel as a person, like, you know, I grew up in, went to school in predominantly white spaces, college, master's program, and I feel like I'm just trying to find a path. And, you know, along the way, I mess up sometimes. And I'm trying really hard to correct my wrongs and do better on a daily basis. And so as a warrior, you know, I'm trying to fortify my mind and my heart in this world that is trying to destroy us. May that be through education, may that be through ceremony, may that be just through personal experience and resiliency. But that is what I think a warrior is for me and what I'm trying to emulate.
What did he say? He basically said, someone that fights with my mind behind a keyboard.
Thanks for coming in.
And says what? Attacks what? What did you say? What did you say?
Mm-hmm. It's not being responsive. There we go. Okay, so we've been on for 2 hours.
2 hours, and you said
we
shit.
were going to leave this at 2 hours because this is hard.
Damn.
Yeah.
So I guess
I just wanted to expand
the
on that
Patriot
too.
Girl. Thank you for looking. Thank you for trying. Looks like the line is too long.
I don't want to be the voice.
Okay.
Of Native people.
Okay. You're not.
I'm not the voice.
Yeah, you're not.
And this journey and on this platform has been really, really hard on me.
Because of everyone else, not your fault, right? Not everything you say.
Sometimes it gets to a point where you're just angry.
Yeah.
You
you're
pour yourself into something, you get rejected, you put yourself out there, you put your name out there, your face.
But why? Why are you rejected?
And it's really hard. And like, I know there are younger people watching. I know that our elders are watching, and
the same elders that don't like you. A lot of pressure.
There are literally no natives in the United States who are outspoken, who are political,
like you,
who are verified content creators.
Like you.
All or most of the verified Indigenous content creators are in Canada. There's no one in the States who's verified, who's outspoken.
There it is.
And
no one that's verified.
And
he
so,
wants to be. He is fighting to get verified.
I'm trying.
Oh, you're trying. We know you are.
I'm trying really hard to navigate this space and knowing that like I represent my people and my parents and my clan, you know. But it's really hard.
Oh, so hard.
Like this past week,
Jesus.
we were just stressed and our anxiety levels were too high, and we were trying to figure out how to move forward and if we should move forward.
We should.
You will move really forward. Diving into these conversations with one another and
not being able to put this down because people know him in the world. We attended a wedding and a staff person at that wedding violated the privacy of really everybody at that event by posting pictures of him
dude, they
at my
expose you.
friend's wedding.
They expose you.
And put me in danger.
Yeah, they
And
expose
put
you.
the people at that wedding in danger.
Oh my
Of
God.
saying, you know, this is where this person is right now.
Yeah.
The fact that when he gets recognized, it's immediately like, is this going to be dangerous or is this going to be someone who's supportive? And I think that's something that isn't an excuse for us stepping out of line and being emotional, but it is a reality that a lot of people can put this app down and it doesn't affect your day-to-day life. It's not just what you guys say in comments, like it affects us in real life, in walking into a restaurant and getting a feeling that maybe we shouldn't go into this certain place. It's hard. It's a drain.
She got him fired?
Yeah.
Someone said she got him fired. Oh, I want to know about that. That's crazy.
When I do fall, when I have fallen,
like right now, like last week.
I don't want to stay down. I'm gonna get back up.
Yeah, we know. You know, keep coming back. You'll never leave.
Yeah. And I
You're a grifter,
do take
bro.
this seriously, and I want to.
You're a
to
con
lead that
man,
example.
grifter.
But
Come on.
Everyone says this, but it's true. We're all human. There's only so much we can take, and it's a lot. And I do my best not to talk about my private life on this platform, but there are things happening too. So just keep that in mind before you harass, before you
build your whole platform from just talking about this man.
You talking about
and
me?
letting your comment section explode and literally holding hands with white supremacists because you have a legitimate critique as an indigenous
Literally
person
holding
on his
hands is
approach
literally
to this
holding
work.
hands. What do you mean?
But you are getting gassed up by people who wish us all dead. They're not in it for you. They're not in it because you said something really. They hate him. They hate him as a symbol of your own progress. When I go into some Native content creators and I see the comments, I'm like, I wonder if you took the time to look at the account of the person who's saying yeah and giving you all the praise. This is a person who wishes you dead.
Do you do the same thing for all the other creators that say, yeah, F white people, and, you know, kill them? Do you do the same? You do the same?
So
See?
I think
that's what happens when there's nobody there with logic
let's
challenge
let,
you.
like maybe 2 more people in, and then we gotta emotionally disconnect and decompress.
God, emotionally disconnect, because oh my God.
Looks like it's a little frozen for a second.
God, the victim card. It's like right there. The projection, the deflection, it's all there. Just like exactly like I said. The only thing they don't got going on is like the soft light and glow. I guess I don't have that really, but dude, come on.
Yeah, I mean, could it be my battery is dying? Yeah, 801 Tonka.
Come on, give us one. Give us one person. Come on. You want to build this whole platform on hating, but then it's like, but you're the victim. Like, dude.
Sorry for glitching out.
They're so far removed from reality is ridiculous.
So 801 Tonka, when we let you in, if you could
Come on, Dan. How many times have you done this? Let's go. You're not new at this.
And then this person I have on the list as well. And after this, it'll be pre-existing condition.
Yeah, they have a list. Of course they have a list. You know, I didn't make it to that list. You know why?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good, thank you.
So I just wanted to share my thoughts and feelings on this towards you, Lance. Mr. I believe your last name is Sosi.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to know how come it took you so long to respond back to the Native community. So let me get where I'm trying to get to. You hurt a lot of people with your words, whether you meant to or you didn't. It did hurt. And as a Native man, I come to you as a Native man and hope you come to me as a Native man as well. Our responsibilities are to our people. And our main responsibilities is to our women and our children. And you hurt a lot of people with your words. It didn't affect me because I don't identify as a white passing Native. But one thing I do understand is that our words carry a lot of weight behind it. And seeing how much the community was hurt, and by all means, don't think I'm trying to blame you for anything. The way I understand our people, because I'm a ceremonial man. As a matter of fact, I'm going into Sundance this Friday. But our responsibility to our people is to heal them. And if we're the ones who are indirect, are the ones who are causing the pain, then we should be the ones to fix it and as quickly as possible. And I don't understand why you waited so long to do this live, or even if you plan on doing what took so long, because a lot of people were hurt, and those are our brothers and sisters, our children.
All right.
And I was wondering
question.
if you can explain that
It's
to
a fair
me.
question. He's actually
To us.
Come on.
Yeah. So our schedules were really crazy. And when all of this went down, we were in two different states, like literal states. And the whole time we were just trying to comfort one another. And like, I wasn't in a good headspace. Neither was she.
And I'm in the process I'm a very private person, but massive life transitions that are happening for me right now. And I can
come on.
Take
Jesus.
Wasn't in a good headspace. Neither was she.
And I'm in the process I'm a very private person, but massive life transitions that are happening for me right now. And I can take responsibility for that silence and saying that I know that this is what's needed right now. But if you
mentioning it earlier, like, yeah, like I'm sorry I hurt a lot of people. And I didn't know those words could crumble someone's foundation in terms of their identity.
Yes, you did.
I didn't know that. And if there are children out there who are wondering who they are, like, you need as parents, you need to talk to your children. I know, like, there are young ones who follow me, but my page is for 18-plus-year-old people. Like, and like these things that I'm talking about are very complex. They're like, I'm exposing myself to racist people, and those kids see that, and I don't want them to see that. I'm not trying to shelter them, but I'm just trying to, say that I think if I were a parent, I would do my best to let my children know that the world that is out there, how they see you is going to react to you based on your skin color, your gender, your outward projection, and try my best to like ensure that they understand that. And yeah, I wanted to come out and address this, but I wasn't in a good headspace. Like,
lying, bro.
And we needed to hunker down and try to figure some stuff out too with like life stuff. And I wanted to, but I just.
And not for nothing, he did come out like right up front with the sense of urgency that seemed appropriate at the time, and it blew up in both of our faces. And it was like, okay, on one hand, we have responding in a way that everyone feels is appropriate for the urgency, but then also emotionally, spiritually, mentally not being able to handle that conversation in a way that's tactful. TikTok is trying to literally and figuratively destroy us. And it was hard to sift out who was trying to go for healing and who was trying to put us on the whipping post and flog us in public and just make us feel shame and compromise our confidence in being a human being.
Bullshit.
And it just seemed like it was better to
stay quiet. Like, it doesn't matter what.
I get that.
Yeah,
I get that, and I respect that. So as far as your white video, is that referencing to the people who were commenting about you dating this lovely lady right here?
To an extent, yes, but not everyone. This is a conversation.
Because what I took away from it kind of felt. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Because what I took away from it and what I've heard from a lot of people was that you took what a few individuals felt about you dating out of your race in a negative way, what they said about you to you, that you took it out on the whole Native community. I mean, is that what the issue was?
No. There were very terrible words that were said regarding.
Yeah, I believe it. I hear it in my own tribe as well, so I understand exactly 100% what you're talking about.
Yeah, and it wasn't necessarily like directly targeted at the Native community. It was everyone. I feel like this conversation is needs to happen, and I think I led the conversation without carrying it. I didn't carry the conversation like I should have. And I will take full responsibility for that. It wasn't fair for me to just let it burn. And yeah, it was not okay.
Definitely not okay.
So going on from here and into the future, all the people who disagree with you or cast you away or whatever, have you completely turned your back on them?
No. I'm still going to fight. I'm still going to talk about white supremacy and how we need to challenge it. If they want to not listen to me, that's entirely up to them. You know, I'm going to continue on with the work that I wanted to put out there. I'm not done talking about what I want to talk about.
You can't quit.
You fucking know. I really do appreciate you, and I kind of see where you're coming from. Being raised on a reservation, being traditional as long as I have, I see a lot of the stuff that you are speaking on and the stuff that you're trying to get across, and I understand where a lot of it could be lost with people who are mainly in the city or who haven't reconnected with their tribes or whatnot, which everybody else who's listening here, I wanted to explain the way I see things, the way I would.
What's going on with their stream?
Since I was 18 and I'm 43 now. And, you know, I've been a sundancer for 20 plus years and whatnot. I'm still reconnecting because unless I know every single song from my tribe, every single way we pray, every single way we do our ceremonies, if I don't know all that, then I'm still reconnecting. So everybody out there who is feeling bad because they're reconnecting and they're not reaching their goals, just understand that from the chief of the tribe down to a person who just barely got their lineage or know what their tribe they're from or whatnot, we're all still reconnecting. So I wanted to tell you, I don't know if you've seen my video that I did on yours, but
no, he hasn't. He doesn't care.
I feel bad that everybody is trying to counsel you because
here we go, man.
That's not our ways. It's not as indigenous people. When somebody messes up, and I'm not saying that you messed up, but what I'm saying is if somebody feels like somebody messed up, it's not our ways as Native individuals to just cast them away for good.
Why?
Everybody's only human and they're allowed to make mistakes. And if, you know, people see that you did something wrong that hurt them, and you try to make amends to it, there's no reason why they should not consider you a brother. You know what I mean? I really feel for you, and I really feel for everything that you're going through.
He
Even
knew
though
what
I
he was
do
doing,
agree,
dude. He knew what he was doing.
with
Come
the
on.
community on as far as the
You
work being
fucking knew!
appropriate.
Come
But
on.
I didn't cast you away, and I just wish there was a way I could help the community and help everybody else out, because I think your words were taken out of context, and I think a lot of people felt like you personally attacked them. And those are the people who we need to reach out, because there's a reason why. And I think it stems from before you. I think it stems from other people telling them that just because they're light, they're not considered indigenous, they're not considered native and whatnot. So I think those are the people that we need to really talk to, because that's our future. Those are our people who are going to be holding the native names down when we pass away. You understand what I mean?
I do.
So yeah. I had a couple questions that I just wanted to ask you, and I asked you that, and you clarified it. I like to get the word from the horse's mouth, and then go from there. But I do appreciate you. I do love what you do for the Native community, and I hope you continue on it. And I hope you don't take anything that anybody ever says to you personally regarding your race or your relationship or whatnot, because that's not our ways. So. But I want to tell you guys thank you, and thank you for clarifying everything to me and to the rest of us who are watching.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, thank you. Have a good night.
Night. Okay.
Nothing. I got nothing. They got one more person. That's it. And I'm going to cut him short if I feel like it's a lot of like bootlicking. And I'm going to give you guys what I've been promising here for the past fucking 2 hours.
List.
This was a effing dud. Completely.
There was a person who...
Completely.
You fucking knew!
Come on. Completely.
Pre-existing condition, that's right. Okay, pre-existing condition.
Pre-existing condition. I don't even know who that is.
Actually, do you mind? We're going to... Because she posted...
Anupia.
Let's see. Anybody know this person?
Hello.
Hi. Oh, I don't know how to. There it is. Hi. Oh.
Hello.
Your camera. There it is.
There I am. I was sewing.
Come on.
I'm one of the survivors of Whitegate.
Yes, you are.
I didn't take offense when I saw the video. And that's primarily because it's some of the things that I talk about on my own page about
another echo.
Growing up in a family that half of it is white and the other half is native.
This gives me an ache in my womb.
So I didn't take offense to it because I don't know. I thought it was just a kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing, and I didn't go through the comments and see all the other things that were going on. But I have nothing negative to say.
Of course not.
Except I appreciate that it was a good opportunity to talk about these things, because I really feel like these are things that should be talked about.
Yeah. That was boring.
Deep in my own lands.
And I feel like going forward, another good conversation to have with people is what
this
community
person's gonna have
is.
nothing.
And a lot of people think that community is everyone gets along all the time, and don't make a mistake because you're gonna get kicked out, and that's not what it's supposed
it's another
to
BS.
be.
Sorry guys, this is another BS, guys.
But I also think that going forward,
she's an
we should all
Alaskan
be
native.
more
Okay, I saw people
mindful
saying
of,
I get it.
What other people's preferences are. I definitely did a lot of learning over the last week, because I always just identified as I'm Inupiaq and I'm white. That's just how I am. But there's other people that identify as other things, even though they have my same skin color. And I didn't realize that. So I've been learning too. But you guys are doing a great job.
Been playing this whole time in the background.
Thank you. I love what you had. about advocating for yourself. I really related to that as a.
She has nothing. I'm sorry, guys. She has nothing. She has fucking nothing. Okay, let's get to the important shit, man. I'm sorry. Like, I'm done. I can put him in the background, but I'm done with them. I'm sorry. So anyways, first of all, let me thank everybody for coming over, but let me give you guys the two pieces of news that I had. All right, so the first one. I asked Amanda multiple times to come over and do an interview. I wanted to ask her, I have all the receipts, asking her, hey, you know, this is kind of where we're at. I think she got pissed off when I announced, right? When I preemptively announced that we were going to do a live, right? And she messaged me back saying like, oh, you know, I need some time to breathe. I gave her some breathing time and I'm like, hey, you know, cool. Take your time, whatever, right? Cool. And then all of a sudden I messaged her back again and she's like, you know, no, I don't think I don't think it's something that I want to do. Like I kind of moved on from it, blah 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 blah. So, you know, at the end of the day, I'm not here to kind of pressure her. I'm gonna cut it short. I'm sorry, guys. I'm done seeing their fucking faces. And you know, I don't know if she'll ever want to do it. I'm still down to do the interview with Amanda. I'm curious to see what she thought, really, about the whole Chelsea situation. What she really, you know, felt. I'm very curious to know like how he flexes with like money that's not his. Because one thing's for sure, and is that they say that he uses the supporter money, right, to buy gifts for women. So Amanda who? You guys don't remember the Wombland saga? Like someone saying Amanda who? Amanda was one of the people that he cheated on with, or I don't know if she cheated. I don't even know what term to use here. But she was basically one of the two in that triangle they had or whatever. The other Chelsea, rip. That's not very nice. She's not that bad. She's actually, you know, we're mutuals, whatever, we became mutuals. But I know a lot of people have asked me continuously like, hey, what's up? Like, where's that interview? I'm still down to do an interview. So if anybody here knows her or whatever, or follows her, I'm more than down to do the interview. I just don't want to pressure her anymore because, again, I asked her a handful of times and I don't know if she felt scared. I don't know. But the point is that that's what happened there, guys. It's not that I have something I haven't released. So that's the news there. But that's, you know, the whole modern warrior shit. I will debate him anytime, any day if he wants to debate, or I'll just interview him. Like, the guy doesn't like hard-hitting questions, and of course I would give him hard-hitting questions. I would give entertainment, by the way, not this BS that is their life. This is bullshit, right? Yeah, Anna Banana, that's the one, that's the person. So that's what happened there with the Marie or whatever, with Amanda, whatever. Okay, so the next question I want to have for you guys, for all the rest of 150, by the way, whatever that you guys stood behind and stuck with me to the end. Fucking thank you, man. Like, you are the reason I do what I do. Like, you're literally the reason. So thank you. I wish I can send you like a gift for each one of you guys that stay behind and like really, you know, just watch my videos, my content. You know, at the end of the day, as a content creator, that's really all we can ask for, is to have fucking viewers. So thank you. Quick question for everybody watching, and comment please, because I really need to know. So I've watched, and this is, by the way, separate from this fucking whole Modern Warrior crap. I've watched creators like Philly D and H3 for years, right? And lately, I've been watching H3. I've been kind of like hate watching H3. So if there's any freaking hardcore fans, I'm sorry. But I want to ask, if I started doing content around, like, you know, like the H3 content and stuff like that, would anybody watch? And for anybody that's like, who the fuck is that? I'm sorry if you don't have any context there. But essentially, I've always wondered if I can do a podcast, right? Like a live podcast, a regular live podcast, and how many people would actually be interested in like a live session podcast. So anyways, you know, you guys let me know, please, in the comment section if you guys are into that and stuff like that. I'm really interested in knowing how many people would like watch live, you know, lives like this one, like no more entertaining than this fucking thing, right? But if anybody would watch lives, I'm really interesting. The chat was freaking amazing, by the way. Like, it was the most entertaining part. Somebody said that earlier. I gotta agree. It was like the most entertaining part was the freaking chat. So thank you for doing that. Here real quick, somebody said that it's getting interested, so let me peek at real quick. I'm gonna be disappointed, but let me peek. Somebody said it was getting interested over there with their live. Let me peek. Let us peek. By the way, yeah, H3 has gone downhill. So I would totally love to do like a watch party to like, hey, watch a little bit. Let's see. Somebody said it got interesting. Let me see if it's true.
It came up for me online because sometimes I didn't have a picture as my profile, like on Twitter or Facebook. And I look, oh yeah, I said that. I typically just say I'm half Indian, mixed, or Indian, and I don't typically explain to white people the difference. I'm not Native American, I'm not indigenous. My mother is from India. In conversations in these groups tackling anti-racism, white presenting became a thing. Our groups that included white presenting, visibly Black and brown people had really hard conversations about the tables that we sit at, about race erasure, and what we do at those tables. So for me, when I sit at a table in my community, I can participate in certain conversations. I cannot participate in other conversations. I cannot participate in conversations about what it's like to walk in the world as a visibly Black or brown person. I just cannot do that. So I sit back and I listen and I get educated and I want to be educated. And I think that
Okay, whatever. It was nothing. It was a nothing burger. Y'all trolled me. You guys trolled me. There's nothing there. I thought there was gonna be something there, but there's nothing there.
is the conversation
Okay, whatever.
that you were trying to have.
Screw this.
But I think the nuance.
Yeah, there's nothing there. I thought somebody said it was a hard hitting question supposedly. I don't think that was hard hitting at all. All right. Thank you for the support. Thank you guys for being here. I think we're gonna cut it short. Honestly, unless something happens, I'm gonna regret it later. That all of a sudden got excited. I don't think their thing's gonna go anywhere. Anyways, thanks for being cool. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna cut the live, but I appreciate you guys. If you guys have anything else, send me messages or whatever, and then let's plan to do a live. That would be awesome to plan to do a live. But that's it. Until next time. See you guys.